What ultimately made you come to this decision? What was important for you in this process to decide to stay here for this long?
It's how Billy said too. It's okay because it's long.
You're going to have to pay me $100 billion. Oh,
gentlemen, silence.
Well, you're going to have to pay me a lot less because I've been doing this for free for years. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Big Apple Hockey, and it's great to be back. And we're going to be shorthanded. No Anthony LaRocco today, but we brought in our favorite co-host to come in from the bullpen. I, of course, am your host, Mark Williams. Delighted to be joining you with the host of the Final Buzzer when he gets a chance to do that again, Mr. John Filkowski.
Yeah, we're 6 days away now. Anthony is in Europe, so we brought in one of the members of, I would call it the Pink and Black Attack, one of the biggest Bret Hart fans I have ever met in my life, the Devils beat writer, Mr. Jim Beeringer.
What is going on? Yes, one of the founding members of the Pink and Black Attack here, Bret Hart guy through and through. Wrestling is a passion of mine. Bret Hart, one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, if not my favorite. But lots to get into. Devils do some things. Kirill gets some money. A lot of guys get money. I'm still not getting the money. I don't know what I'm doing.
You're worth all that money to us.
All right, I like it. Make it rain. Rainmaker. I'm the rainmaker.
Kazuchika Okada status. Love it.
Love it.
All right. And since we have a lot to cover, let's get right into it, guys. As we got going into the A block, where it's powered by SeatGeek. Use the promo code Big Apple Hockey for $20 off your first order. You can see that right there. And also, there's a URL code I had on here. Sorry. Because if you want better sleep, use Manta Sleep. I had this all prepared, guys. Use Manta Sleep. Let's go with the URL code right up there. I use it all the time, and it helps me, especially with my weird hours as a bartender. But the A block is powered by SeatGeek. Use the promo code Big Apple Hockey for $20 off your first order. Once again, look for our videos that are coming out right now. We got Phil's list on the best number one overall draft picks of all time. Big surprise on who's number one, as well as our picks for the coming NHL season, which we almost wish we waited one more day to make our Stanley Cup picks.
And my Rangers What Ifs video.
Yes, of course. And the big news of the week, Kirill Kaprizov. Guys, let's go right back to that money and go dollar bills, y'all. He is getting lots of it. 17 million AAV next season. He is going to be the highest paid player in the NHL as of right now. And we'll wait on that one for a little bit. First things first, Jim, we will start with you. Is Kirill Kaprizov worth $17 million on an average annual value?
So, two-part answer. And again, to the team, he's worth $17 million. Maybe not to the rest of the league. He's being paid like the second best player in the league right now, right? Everybody knows Connor McDavid is the best player in the league. But now Kaprizov is the highest paid player in the league. Is he the second best player in the league? That's debatable. Because there's a guy on McDavid's own team that you could argue is the second best player in the league. There's a guy in Colorado. The list goes on, right? But he was a blank check card in the Minnesota Wild. Discuss this ad nauseum because, look, they came out and said, we'll give him whatever he wants. Then the report comes out, and then everything comes close to the vest. It's private. We don't want anything leaking out. They had to up their offer, right? You can't come out and say we're going to give the guy whatever he wants. You just give the player all the leverage. The player had the leverage, and he knew it. He's worth $17 million to them because they can't lose him like they lost Marian Gaborik. You can't go through that situation again because in the Central Division, without Kaprizov, the Wild aren't competing. They're not even close to a playoff team. He's the most valuable player to that team, and it is the franchise's best player. So in their opinion, he was worth $17 million. But good on Bill Guerin getting 8 years because all we heard was he was going to get 4, he was going to get 5. Guerin wanted 8. Probably should have got it last time, so he wasn't in this mess. But everybody wins. player and team, in my opinion. But the Wild like him at 17. The rest of the league, well, now everybody's price is going up.
Yeah, Phil, that's what the danger is, because he's going to now set the bar for elite players that are going around the league. What do you make of this deal, first off?
Alexa, play The Danger in Starting a Fire by A Day to Remember, because that is literally what we're doing here with this cap. Cap's going up. Players are going to get paid. It's always next man up. I've been saying that, and I get it, but that's a big jump. That is a big, big jump from Leon Draisaitl making $14 million to Kirill Kaprizov making $17. We know Connor McDavid's getting north of 18 at least at this point. So to reference something that was brought up in our chats before, thank you to Chris T for this. The current CBA, no individual player can exceed over 20% of a team's cap hit. So as of right now, it would be $19.1 million. So that's the max that Connor McDavid can get right now at this very moment. So let's take a step back and see how that affects everybody. Because, yeah, everybody's price is going up to the surprise of no one. And, yeah, but it's going to happen. And we're seeing it right now. And Kaprizov is worth whatever, as Jim said before, is worth what the team is willing to pay. You know, we talk about worth and relative to market value and comparables and everything like that for what we see from our eyes. But the way that organizations look at it is, what is that player worth to my team? What is that player worth to signing or not signing with us? So for Kaprizov, he had the Wild bent over a barrel. He had Bill Guerin at his will, and he had every right to. He's one of the best point producers in the league. It's a guy that's capable of putting 110 points up. And who's centering him there? Like, when I look at Kirill Kaprizov, I look at Pavel Bure. And I'm not saying this in a goal-scoring aspect. I'm saying this that Pavel Bure was able to put up 50 goals and 100 points almost every year that he was healthy, and he did it with mid-level line mates.
Very much mid.
That's why I think Pavel Bure is the best goal scorer I've ever seen. Because if you would have put Nicholas Backstrom with Pavel Bure probably would have scored 600, 700 goals if he stayed healthy in the dead puck era, which would have been something else. But Kirill Kaprizov, Marco Rossi, Joel Eriksson Ek, where is the center help there? And even the other wings, Matt Boldy's very good. But is Matt Boldy a Nathan McKinnon?
No.
Is he a Nikita Kucherov? Is he a Leon Draisaitl? No. He's nowhere close to any of those guys. He's not even a Kyle Connor yet, because maybe he could be one day, for all we know. I'm not trying to slam Matt Boldy or anyone on Minnesota, but they don't have the talent around Kaprizov, and he still puts up insane numbers almost by himself. That's the point here. And when you have somebody that could do that, he would have gotten that $17 million from someone else had he hit the open market. It's not like some other players whose names I'm not going to get into, but I'm sure everybody can figure out who I'm talking about, that wouldn't have gotten a certain amount of number had they gotten to the UFA market. Kirill Kaprizov would have for sure. Someone would have given him 16, 17, 18 million, because someone would have wanted to bring in a 100-plus point player that can do it with minimal help. So yes, Kaprizov is worth 17 million. The Wild thought so, and I can guarantee you that several other teams would have lined up to giving him this money.
This is why the NHLPA is the happiest organization right now, because they just raised player salaries all over the league right now, because now superstars, ones that played 41 games and managed to get, it was 56 points last year, are now getting $17 million on an average annual value for the next 8 years. That is incredible. And now a rising tide floats all boats. We all know that expression. And I think one thing that'll happen with this is that now the next guy is going to get that money. We're going to get more into that in a second. Let's get on this one for a minute. Look, all of us here, and I think, Jim, you might even agree with us because I know Anthony certainly would. You're looking at a guy that if he was healthy for a full season, you might see Kucherov type of production numbers where they're that incredible as opposed to, say, the rest of his help along the way. And almost a guy that could I don't want to sound like I'm slamming everyone on Minnesota by saying this, but you're almost looking at a guy that can produce almost the way Taylor Hall did in his MVP year for the Devils, where I think Nico Hischier was the next one around 66
No,
points.
yeah, you were right. Yep.
Yeah, that's how good Kaprizov is. And I'm not saying that to bash Matt Boldy or even Brock Faber, because obviously those are Team USA type of players. But this is how special of a guy Kirill Kaprizov is, who won't be playing in the Olympics because reasons. And it's just, you look over and go, this is just how good he could be and how much he's worth. He's worth a lot to the Wild, and they were kind of, you could argue they were almost saving their pennies since they were playing so handcuffed for years. They had to say to this guy, we're invested in you. We're invested in the future. And there's a lot more. That's, you know, what's amazing. I just saw something in our banners. I have to say this for a second, guys. Anthony is playing pranks on me from well beyond. He didn't even do it this week, but he said Wing Wednesday at Hugo Boss. This was an advertisement that I had for Boss Croakers, which is the bar that I work at. So, I mean, Anthony snuck that one in there. I had no idea.
Anthony.
Look at that in Europe, and he's already hitting you guys up. Look,
trolling you from overseas.
The ghost of Anthony right there. But Jim, get further into this. What are the effects of this going to have on McDavid as well as the other potential UFAs?
So before I get into it, before I get into that, I just want to go to your point about Kaprizov and everybody. Look, I agree with you. I think he can get those Kucherov type numbers. He did it one year. He was at 108 points. He had a career season a couple seasons ago, right? You know, a big thing is his injuries, right? Can he stay healthy? But he can do it. Kaprizov can do it. And let's be honest, if he didn't get hurt last year, he's a Hart Trophy finalist because of what he was doing with Minnesota. Now, how does it affect everybody else? Well, we know Connor McDavid's out there. He says he wants to win. He wants to stay in Edmonton, right? But he also has said fair market value. Well, we now know that Kaprizov has set the market at 17. Does he go 17.5? Does he go 18? But he knows the Oilers want to win. How does he, get those numbers to come, calculate the right way? As I like to say, does the math? Can you make everything align? But again, Kaprizov's getting, if you look at his signing bonus structure and the way everything's set up, he's getting 20% of this year's cap starting next year in signing bonuses. And tick, tick, clock, clock. Don't forget, as of October 6th, all the tools that everybody can use with the deferred payments, signing bonuses, goes away on October 7th because of the new CBA. They brought a lot of that new stuff in early. So you got to figure out what you're doing with your contracts. Now, as far as McDavid goes, he's going to get whatever he wants. He can walk into the door today and the contract signed, right? He can come in and say, hey, this is what I want, and Stan Bowman's going to sign it, and Jeff Jackson's going to sign it. I look at guys like Eichel, Kempe, and Kyle Connor, as John mentioned, Filk mentioned, right? Kempe and Connor are interesting because we've heard LA 10 million, 11 million. Well, is Adrian Kempe a better goal scorer than Kyle Connor in Winnipeg? No. So if Kempe gets 11, Connor's getting 11.5, if not 12. Mm-hmm. We know Jack Eichel is going to get more than Mitch Marner, right? He's probably going to get 13. And don't forget, Eichel plays center. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? He's not going to get less than Kaprizov, though, you see the reports out there, if he wants to win, he's going to have to take less. I do think, you mentioned it before, the PA. Look, I'm not going to, say anything, all that I'll say is there was probably some outside pressure for these guys to set this market because, you know, you want your guys to look good, right? You know, your new CBA, we've done everything. Now the players got to get paid. With the cap going up, the league is healthy. But I'm interested to see, while they may not be truly connected, because each contract situation is different, I do feel that the players will align in a certain way where everybody's like, yeah, thank you, Kaprizov, for setting us up for success moving forward. And the other thing, I'll say this. I've heard more and more guys talk about this one. Get ready for another boring offseason.
I was going to say, Mark, if you can, because I have it up in front of me, would you be able to pull up Cap Wages Edmonton's page?
I have it. I already have it all set because I've been referring to this because I can't wait to ask you guys this question.
Present that if you can, please.
Yeah.
Because I want to go over this because I don't know how they're going to be able to do this. I'm looking at it right now.
Here's what I'll say this to you. Off the top of your head, well, here's what you have right now as far as cap wages go currently for the Edmonton Oilers. It goes Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and then Evan Bouchard. Can you guys tell me what 3, 4, and 5 is? 4, 5, and 6 is.
I know who 4 is right away. It's if you're talking about the highest AAVs.
Yeah.
It's Darnell Nurse, and I don't even need to have the page up.
It's Darnell Nurse at $9 million.
9.25.
Yeah.
9.25 for Darnell Nurse. And then after him is Matthias Ekholm at 6.
Yeah.
And he needs a new contract.
So here's the issue. You have, as unrestricted free agents after this season, obviously McDavid. Adam Henrique at $3 million comes off the books.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Kasperi Kapanen at 1.3. David Thomas, not really. That's a weird one at 1.2. Curtis Lazar at $775K and Noah Philp at $775K for forwards. Then on defense, you have Ekholm at 6 coming off the books, Wallman at 3.4 off the books, Kulak at 2.75 off the books, and Troy Stetcher at $787,500K off the books. And then your 2 goalies at a total of $3.6 million, 2.6 for Stuart Skinner, $1 million for Calvin Pickard off the books. So you basically have under contract 3 defensemen and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 forwards on the books. And you still need to give McDavid, what, $18 million?
Or potentially 19.
Potentially $19 million?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know how they put a team together. And and before we even say, they could put a team together, okay, let's ask this question. Does Connor McDavid really want to come back to a watered-down version of the same team because he's going to ask for 18, 19 million, and then they don't have enough space to go and get depth and make the team better around him? Does he want to come back to that?
No, because he's seen it.
He wants to stay, but does he really want to come back to that?
Look, you've seen it. We've seen it the last 2 seasons. The Edmonton Oilers that lost in Game 7 in 2024 are weaker and not as good as the team right now, despite all what they say about their practices and Stuart Skinner looking leaner and all this stuff. The depth is gone. The 2 biggest losses, well, actually, there's 3 things I need to point out. Not having a general manager July 1st last offseason after they went to the Cup final was a problem because you can't have the CEO of the team giving all these contracts out. Second, you can't lose Broberg and Holloway because those guys were a part of your future. They were. And McDavid knows it, and he saw it. And he knows those guys were special. So, and now the third thing is okay, McDavid's there. Bouchard just got paid, but what else is there? Yeah, you got Sauvé, you got Isaac Howard. That's all well and good. But you could potentially lose Ekholm, Wallman, like all these guys that were important to this team. There's no cap space for anybody. They're going to have to make a move.
That's where a lot of these things like you look at this budget that they're on right now. I know we went through the salary, but then after Ekholm, who needs a new deal, then you have Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and then your next highest paid player is Trent Frederick. Like that could be a disaster. You got to spread that money around a little bit more.
Here's all right. So I just did a math. So if Connor McDavid was to get the 19.1 million, they would be saving all those guys together that are going off the books this year totaled $19.987 million in cap space. If he gets 19.1, they would have $887,000 in cap to wiggle with if they were to give him that.
And that's
Even
with
if
the
you
cap
give
going
him
up.
18 million, even if you give him, let's just say 18 million, you have 1 million in change to work with to build depth around the rest of your team. I don't see how you win with that.
You don't win. And I don't even think they're going to get to the Stanley Cup final this year.
I don't know how they ever get back there, even with the two of them. Like you're going to waste their primes trying to get them back to the Stanley Cup finals if you give Connor McDavid another $19 million AAV. Like he's worth that. He's absolutely worth that. I'm not saying he's worth that. Anybody who knows me knows what I think of Connor McDavid.
I think we all do.
He's the best player in the league.
I don't have to go over it. We've been there, done that several times over. But if you give him that contract, you go ahead and you are basically saying, okay, we don't care about the rest of the team. They have no cap space to work with. Yes, the cap's going up after this season. That's great. But how are you filling out? And it almost just half of the roster. Your defense has 3 defenders on it, no goaltenders at that point, and you still have Jack Campbell's dead cap hit from his buyout on there.
Yeah, that was an awful buyout. Like, you can't do that. Like,
Yeah, well, it was an awful contract.
It was an awful contract.
I mean, look,
to
you
give,
gotta
but
say, but the guy that started it was Cal Peterson, right? Cal Peterson got that $5 million.
I
Remember
do
that?
not see this at all. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't.
I think if anything, he goes 16. But I don't even think I think a lot of people think that it's still 16 is still tough for this team to do anything, and they want to re-sign Ekholm and Wallman and all these guys, but this team's just not good enough to compete right now.
Yeah,
I do not envy the position Connor McDavid is in right now.
No,
He's in a position where he needs to win a Stanley Cup, figure out the rest of his own life. He's got the pressures of Canada on top of him because they don't want him going and being the next Gretzky and going to like LA or something like that.
Imagine.
LA.
Imagine.
He's got the pressures, and I'm sorry, whether or not we want to say it or not, it is there. The pressures of the NHLPA looking at him and going, you're the best player in the game. You need to raise the dollar value the same way you did it for Nate McKinnon years ago, because Nate McKinnon ended up getting $100,000 more when he won a Stanley Cup, and he was on the precipice of being one of the best players of the game, if not the best. So now you get this position, and he can't be a team player. There's no way he can be a team player. For the Oilers, you want to be a team player, he takes 17.1 right now. That's the best you could do, because the PA is going to look at him and go, you have to maximize the maximum amount of dollar value you could possibly get, because that's what's going to help the NHL grow as far as salaries go in the future. Because that's why, I mean, if you were going to say who the best player is in every single sport, it's not the highest paid player. Guys have capitalized on what other guys in the union have done before that, whether you're Kirk Cousins, who was the most coveted unrestricted free agent ever in the NFL, or Alex Rodriguez in 2000, who blew away everyone's contracts when he did that. And that was the year that everybody was the highest paid player for a week. I mean, this is going to be something. This is why it's so complex. I don't think it's going to get done before the season goes on, but it's just like, what does McDavid do right here, Filk?
I just, like I said, I don't know about, like, I really don't know how they put a team together. when all those guys make up the figure that he could possibly get, unless he is taking a discount to stay, I don't know how they do it. And even if he takes a discount, what is the discount? 16 million? Like if that's the discount, like then I don't know how they. I mean, maybe he does something like this where they get that deferral in and he gets to defer money and stuff like that before the option runs out. Maybe that works.
This is where I always wondered when they were doing these CBA negotiations, like maybe this is the one thing where you wish you kind of had the NFL option of you could restructure your deal after like a couple of years just to help with the cap. You're still you're still getting be the highest paid player, whatever, on the team and all that stuff. But it helps with the salary cap moving forward. Now, again, we're all basing this. Don't forget, the cap's going to go to 104, 113. So maybe, down the road that the Oilers have money. But again, we're looking at a 95.5. And even at 104, 19.1, 20% of that is a lot of money to a guy. And it doesn't give the team, a lot of wiggle room. That's why I think they're trying to get this deferred option done, because I think it would be the best course of action, not only for him to stay in Edmonton, but help the team win as well, because it gives them wiggle room to add players and keep the players that they have.
Yeah, I don't know how you can go and all right. So if they lose Matthias Ekholm, that's their best defensive defenseman right there.
Yeah,
that's the guy who plays their big tough minutes.
He makes up for Darnell Nurse.
Darnell Nurse. They need to move that contract.
Yeah,
if they can somehow move that contract and find a taker for it and retain as minimal salary as possible.
Can't retain any money on it. You can't retain anything on it.
Maybe like $1 million or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Like $1 million on that and get him out of there and save the other $8 million and change. Then like you take that and you call it a day, and then you can bring in other depth defensemen for lesser money that could give you similar production to what he's giving you, because he's worth maybe half that. Good on him at the time to sign that deal. Good for him and the agent to get that money for him. But, we'll probably talk about this one later. But again, you got a guy in New Jersey that's making $250,000 less than Darnell Nurse. So,
yeah, we're going to be talking about him more in a minute. And by the way, also Edmonton added a goaltender.
Connor
more on that in a minute as well. But I do have to say this: the hardest part about getting a deferred option in there depends on how crazy it's going to be. But Jim, Shohei Ohtani in Major League Baseball makes an absolute mockery of the deferred money.
Yeah, it's absolutely a joke. But again, baseball, football, and the NBA all have TV contracts that benefit not only the league but player salaries. The NHL is a ticket gate revenue league. If they could get the contracts, TV deals that the other sports could get, then these numbers we're talking about are even higher than what we're talking about right now. And the cap is up even more. Now, that TV deal could be coming. We don't know, because, the window for the exclusive rights deal with ESPN as the major partner opens up soon. That exclusive window. What's that going to look like? What's the new Canadian TV rights deal going to look like? All that stuff.
Yeah.
So that could add to this HRR and this pot that they're looking at. But again, can you win with a guy, and I know he's the best player in the league, making $20 million, $25 million? We're looking at 19.1 right now. You want to put it, everybody talks about we want to win. Yeah, we need to get fair market value too. However, there's a fine balancing act. And oh, by the way, don't forget, there's a playoff salary cap coming too.
That's a big thing as well. But I mean, I guess one other thing to bring up right here, and I'll throw it out to you, Phil. Got to go back to the summer of 1988. Edmonton Oilers ended up shipping the best player in their history. Could something like that be happening again?
Well, Peter Pocklington is not owning the franchise and bleeding money, hemorrhaging money, I should say.
Yeah.
And
That's the correct term, Phil.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was hemorrhaging money is what he actually said. He's not trying to trade Connor McDavid behind his back. Maybe McDavid trade discussions are going on and we don't know it right now. I highly doubt it. No one's reported anything of the matter.
And trust me, somebody would.
Yeah, somebody would have something on it, but I think there is a possibility in which they could lose him to free agency. I don't think he wants to. I think he wants to stay in Edmonton. I do believe what he says. It's not like Kovalchuk with Atlanta, where he's telling everybody that he wanted to stay, or Tavares in the Island where he wanted to stay, and those guys both had their minds made up on going somewhere else. Like, I think McDavid genuinely wants to stay in Edmonton. I think he loves it there. I don't think he likes the idea of being the guy that's in the spotlight constantly and being, bothered on the streets. I don't know how much he would get that in New York, just because he's kind of a guy that can blend in a little bit. But I don't think he would want to go to Toronto and deal with that, because he would get harassed nonstop on the streets.
Yeah.
Toronto, especially if he can't lead them to a cup. Forget about it. You think Marner got it bad? Oh man, they'll be talking to McDavid. They'll be going, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think the team needs? What do you blah blah blah?" No. It's like the people that have been bothering the WWE superstars in the airports lately.
Yeah,
Great reference.
It's that's what's going to happen. I don't think he wants.
Crosby got tired of it. We talk about Crosby being the best player in the world. He's still one of the best players in the world. He's getting tired of it, of hearing all the talk about trading and all that stuff in his contract. He's like, dude, I want to stay in Pittsburgh. End this discussion. Like, I'm not going anywhere.
All right. So, like I said last week when I predicted that he'd be going, the rhetoric has changed from "I don't want to go" to "I'd be open." So now things are a little different. But for a while, yes, you're right. It was "I don't want to go anywhere," and they kept bothering him about it. Now all of a sudden it's changed. So that's a whole nother can of worms. We're not going to get into Crosby.
Right, like same with Malkin too. He's like, maybe, Brad Marchand kind of thing, But yeah, again, we'll see what happens. I agree. Peter Pocklington's not running this team, and I don't, unless you're getting a haul for McDavid, that's going to rechange your franchise. I see him staying, but I don't see him staying long term. Again, that could change, but if you really want
he does a shorter term deal, maybe.
Why?
I'm just saying this one.
I'm coming back to that.
So all right. So let's put it this way: if he does, let's just say like a 2-year deal, and he takes a little bit of a discount, he gives Edmonton the opportunity to load up, like to get their cap situation in order. Then the cap jumps up big time within the next 2 years. He can go get that massive chunk of change. He'll only be 30, 31 at that point. And he can go and get his bag, and the team has the availability to make better moves around him to possibly get that cup there. That's the way I could see it.
But then it's a 7-year deal.
Do Marion host a deal? 1-year deals?
You could. Yeah. I mean, he took when he took that 1-year deal in Detroit in, July of 2008, everybody was like, are you kidding me? Everybody thought he was going to get that big multi-year deal. He was going to get like $7-8 million per year at that time because he was a top flight two-way winger. And you know what? He took a chance. It didn't pay off, but he got his deal the next year, and he ended up winning 3 cups in 6 years. So you never know.
Yeah, he ended up betting on himself, and it ended up
didn't work out at first, and it worked out after.
No, it didn't work out actually the first 2 times, because I think, because I know we need to move on, but I think he took a second 1-year deal with Chicago, and then after he won the cup, he's like, yeah, I'll stay.
I guess one last question, just really quick, Jim, because I know I got Phil's opinion on this. If Connor McDavid did leave, is that the biggest free agent signing in all of sports history?
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best player in the world. Like, the NHL has never, outside the Gretzky trade, we haven't seen a player move of that caliber ever, right? Like, Stamkos, but that was the back end, right? And the team didn't want to pay him. But a player has never hit the market like that ever in the National Hockey League.
But not just hockey, sports.
Oh, yeah, 100% too. I mean, like a lot of the guys that moved at the end in some of these deals, like you could say A-Rod, but he went from Seattle to Texas and then he got traded. Like,
Yeah.
McDavid is the most high prolific free agent ever to hit the market if he were to.
Well, we got a lot more on that, talking about Connor McDavid's new teammate, as well as the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders of the preseason. Let's go to NHL Bar Talk.
Shot. This is the easiest I've ever to answer.
I'm going to say beer. I can't even begin to describe.
I'm actually going to go crazy. I'm going to buy everybody around on this one. And welcome back, everybody, to Big Apple Hockey's Bar Talk. We're gauging our confidence on NHL topics based on choice of drink. So confident that you're buying around. So I'll have a beer. Oh, God, I need a shot. Throw your comments down and play along. And as well as, I didn't mention it before, Big Apple Hockey trucker shirts and shats. Jesus. Shirts and hats are available. Wow.
Guy.
Wow.
That's
Well,
They got even play shorts.
yeah, not even a short. Well, by the way,
Never trust the fart.
they're still better than that. However, by the way, it's Wing Wednesday. Stop on down at Boss Croker's. I will not be there tonight, obviously, but 40-cent wings, $2 tacos, $2 whatever, $4 Miller Lights, $4 Yinglings.
That's
I should
another
know that.
dollar.
Yeah, I'd buy that for $1. All right, and also make sure you check out. Do they come in brown? No, actually, no. But I was wearing this one. This one is a hat that I got for my birthday because I love
beauty status.
A what?
Is that beauty status, Mark, that hat?
No, this is the Miracle 1980.
No, I know.
So,
Beauty status has a miracle hat that looks almost exactly like that.
I got to check that. I didn't feel like taking off the hat first. I'll take a look at it. But let's start with what happened Monday night. Noah Lava scored the game-winning goal against the Islanders in the preseason finale. That everybody wants to make a big deal about it. That he beat Matthew Schaefer on that play. Trust me, he'll learn from that. Everybody. But Filk, Noah Lava should make the Rangers opening night roster regardless of contracts.
One, yes, I think that is a beauty status hat.
Okay.
Because I just looked it up and it looks like the same exact patch. So yes, I think that is. Two, I have some of their stuff, by the way, that's great. My Hawks hat is actually beauty status.
Yo, shout out.
It is beauty status.
Yep, thought so. Yeah, I'm gonna get the hoop on this one because we're talking regardless of the contract. Yeah, I think he should. Although I do think that there's one thing that I've seen from him that I think needs some work is he tends to kind of hang on to the puck for a little too long. And I like that he has the confidence to go and want to make the plays. And he's a much better skater than I thought. Like I can't even believe how good his skating really is. That's great. That is great.
I just never thought about looking outside my own hat.
Oh my God! You got to know who it's coming from. So
Dude,
if you
everybody
like it,
just
buy
dunking
more
on Mark
stuff
today.
from them, dude.
Well, it's a beauty from a beauty, so that's where it helps that.
Oh, he smooth move Williams over there. Oh man, but yeah, I just think he's better than Parsonen at this point. He's a better fit for Sullivan's system. Parsonen's not a great skater, but he's gonna make it because of the dumb contract that they gave him for whatever reason. I don't know why. the Rizzler over there. Oh man, the chats are never going to end with this. I love it. But yeah, I just think that they've got a good player that fits what they want to do, fits the style that Sullivan wants to coach with, fits the identity that he wants for the team. He should make it. He absolutely should. But it's just the contracts again. It's Chris Drury. Like, it was bad enough that he gave Will Borgen that dumb contract after the Kako trade and doubled down on it. Oh, let me just go and give Will Borgen $4.1 million after 10 games. Like, why are you doing that? Guy's a third defenseman on any team that has any aspirations of winning a Stanley Cup, and they went and did that. So what does he do? He trades for Parsonen in the Ryan Lindgren deal, and then just goes and gives him $1.5 million for what? He looked like shit down the stretch last year.
Yeah. So Jim, does the contracts matter? Throw them out the window. Should Lava make the team?
Lava should make the team regardless of contract. He's been playing well in the preseason. Yeah, round for me, hoop, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to say. To me, contract shouldn't matter. We've looked at this. We see it in all sports. Regardless of your contract, if you get outplayed, that's on you for not coming in to the regular season and training camp, not being prepared. Right? New system. I think the fact that the way he's looked and the way he's played for the Rangers, he should be on the team. Like, you want to change some things up. You want to change the perception of your team. You need to put the younger guys in and let the guys play. And this kid, to me, what I've seen from the preseason looks really good. And I agree with Phil. He fits Mike Sullivan's system. While I may not be a believer yet in Mike Sullivan for the Rangers because I've seen what happened in Pittsburgh, and again, the blown leads in the preseason, I think you got to start going in a different direction because you have to show that you can draft and develop players. And this is one of your guys, right? You bring him in. I would do it. Look, go ask Matt Flynn about his contract with Seattle and Russell Wilson being a 4th-round pick. He lost his starting quarterback job.
Yep.
So, I don't care what contracts say. Look, Simone Nemec last year for New Jersey came in, thought he was going to be, playing for the Devils last year right away. Jonathan Kovacevic beat him out. So go earn your spot. If the young player comes in and earns a spot, I don't care what the veteran guy's making. You're sitting.
Real quick, Jimmy, how big of an injury is that one, Kovacevic?
He's out till January.
No, like, how big is that for the team?
I think it's huge because I think everybody is pointing to Dougie Hamilton as a trade chip and saying, oh, you got to move him. And I'm like, all right, great. You want to move one of your better defensemen on the right side. Now you want Casey and Nemec to outpunch their weight class in a year that you expect to make a deep run in the playoffs with the Metro wide open. I don't understand it. I'm against it. I've been told they don't want to do it, but his name continues to be up in circles. But again, who's playing the right side with Kovacevic out till January? And is he ready to play by January? That's my question too. So you got to keep what you have. Pesci's good, but is Nemec ready to take that big step to play a top 4 role? I say no, and I think it's a big loss, but I think the Devils also, in my opinion, rushed to give Kovacevic a contract that carries no movement clause in the first couple of years. I don't mind the number. I don't mind the term. I mind the movement because, again, $4 million is something you're going to have to move.
3 fronts with a contract. I always say it. Term, AAV, and trade protection. You got to win on at least one.
If not two. If not two.
Adam Fox won the Norris. He didn't have trade protection when he signed that new contract. So it's sometimes even younger players, you got to be like, suck it up, buddy. You're going to have to wait for that all to kick in and give them incentives to get there. I mean, Derek Stepan was another one I could think of that had a no movement clause that kicked in after a few years.
By the way, there's a guy in Carolina. Guy's named Seth Jarvis. He doesn't have trade protection on his contract.
It's funny you bring up Derek Stepan, though, Mark. I don't know if this certain individual is in the chats because we do see him from time to time, but a Mr. Johnny Lazarus made an interesting comparison from Noah Laba to Derek Stepan at that respective points in their careers and how they were looking. And he actually interviewed Derek Stepan and talked to him about it. So if you haven't seen that,
I did see that. It was great. It was a great interview by Johnny. Did a great job with that.
So, by the way, really quick on this, guys, I'm going to make this a hat trick and also just throw that round up there because, Jim, you brought it up and you brought it up great. Matt Flynn went to the Seahawks. He was supposed to be their starting quarterback. Russell Wilson beat him out. That's the breaks. And then you had Simone Nemec, who was like, I'm going to be on the starting job. Nope. He gets beat out too. And then he gets to have his hero moment later on versus Carolina by getting the OT winner. look, this is sometimes there's two ways of looking at it. You got to give guys the opportunity to make it, but if somebody beats them, then they beat them. You don't just look at them and go, no, you got to earn your ice time. You're just going to hold back a little bit because the Rangers did that way too much with other players, Laugh. And it's just there are kind of a both sides way of looking at this. And it does, if you end up saying the rookie goes in there, then the veteran then has to fight for their ice time, and maybe they have a great moment that comes out of that. I mean, Chris Kreider is an example of that in 2013, where, Tortorella gave him a hard time. He ends up getting an OT winner versus the Bruins in their only win of the second round that year. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's go back over to UBS Arena to the New York Islanders, where the New York Islanders last year, total power play goals, tied for first with 5. Yikes. Ian Palmieri. And not that the Rangers were much better. Their leader was 8. But, Jim, I'll start you off with this one. The Islanders will have 1 or more players finish with 10 or more power play goals this season.
I'll go Beer, because I think you look at who they brought in, right? Jonathan Drouin is a guy that can help with the power play. I'm not saying he's going to score 10 power play goals, but he's going to allow guys like a Bo Horvat or a Matt Barzal on that power play to find the space to score the goals, right? Matthew Schaefer is there now too. He's going to probably start with the team, and he could add dynamics to that power play that they need to go. Anthony Duclair on the second unit looks refreshed. They brought him in. Palmieri's still there, and Lee is there. They have the pieces now to have a good power play, and they need to have it too, because if they had that and a penalty kill, probably they would have made the playoffs last year. But Patrick Waugh's system and Matthew Darsh and the players that they brought in, not to mention, how a second year of Sliplikov, and you have Shabanov come in as well. Those guys can help you with your power play. I do see one guy getting at least 10 power play goals.
Phil, what do you see?
I want to go towards round, but I can't fully say round. I'm going to have to go with Beer. We know Tony DeAngelo in the past has been really good on the power play. We've seen that in New York. So we've seen that.
And Carolina.
And Carolina. I mean, Jim, you've seen him enough times on different teams. But it's we know what he can do there. The question is, can he do it now? We're not in 2020 anymore. We're 5 years down the road, going on 6. Barzal's healthy, and that's a big thing for them. What is Shabanov? We don't know what he is yet. We think he could be really good. We don't know what he is yet. Is Matthew Schaefer going to play any power play minutes if he's up there? Which I think he will be. What is Sliplikov? Does Sliplikov come in and take over for Anders Lee, who has been one of the better net front presences in the league for the last 10 or so years? Do they have a net front presence at this point? Is that Kyle Palmieri, or is he more of a bumper guy? What's their configuration looking like? That's another thing. And Patrick Waugh, for the last few years, this power play hasn't been all that great overall during his time there. So I wanna see what happens with this. Now Noah Dobson's gone. Expecting Tony DeAngelo to come in and be power play quarterback 1 and put up 50 plus points, it's a lot to ask. So I think it's possible. I think maybe 1 finishes. I don't know about a second one, but maybe 1 is possible. I just don't know who it's going to be. And I don't know how good their power play unit's going to be overall, but I tell you right now, their leader cannot have 5 power play goals again.
No.
That means they're missing the playoffs again.
Let me just get Jim and I roll again, because when Tony DeAngelo scored a hat trick, it was against the New Jersey Devils. So just to kind of get a little bit of a reaction.
I know the guy gets a lot of slack. I think he's a really good player. I know he gets a lot of crap for his off-ice antics, but he's still a good player in the National Hockey League.
No, he is. And it's But I do have to say, look, Phil just kind of outlined it. There's a lot of questions. You got that many questions. I'm going shot. It has nothing to do with in a video game. The Islanders could easily have 3 guys over 10 power play goals. This is real life. There's nobody's going to question the talent that's on that ice. Can it work together? Possibly. Then you need a coach that's going to do that. Somebody show me what Patrick Waugh is going to do to change up the power play, or what one of the assists is going to do to scheme for the talent that they got. This is the problem that I have whenever I go to the Islanders coaching situation. Go ahead, go prove me wrong, please. Prove me wrong. I want to be wrong in this case, but I've been beating this drum for a while. Like, I don't see what the scheme is going to do and how he's going to manage that personnel. Like, can D'Angelo get shots off quickly? Is he a threat from the point? Sure. But in 19 games with the Islanders last year, 35 games, he had 19 points, 0 power play goals, and 4 power play assists. That's not translating to a lot of success for your number 1 point man. And look, they're going to miss Noah Dobson this year, but you had to move Noah Dobson for the future, and they're going to pay dividends because Schaefer is one hell of a player. And hopefully you're going to decide into a big money deal when he becomes an RFA. One guy that was just RFA that just signed for big money was Luke Hughes, the nephew of my former teammate, signed a big deal. The Devils signed Luke Hughes to a 7-year, $63 million AAV. Deal. If he's been paid $63 million, that's a great AAV. He's getting $9 million on the AAV. We're going to go right back to you because this is your beat, Jim. The Devils will move Dougie Hamilton during the offseason next year.
I'll go beer because they're going to have to think about it because the cap is going to wreak havoc on this team. Now, because there's options, right? You still have to look at Palat, Mercer, guys that make this money. Now you have 2 defensemen at $9 million. This is obviously Luke Hughes' blue line. Everybody knows it. But the concerning thing to me is you're in your window to win. You want to extend Jacob Markstrom. You have Jake Allen there. Dougie, unless Simone Nemec or Seamus Casey, one of those guys shows major strides this season, yes, this is a play you're going to have to think about. But I don't think they're going to do it unless they really have to and they get the offer they want. Because as we mentioned before, right-handed shot defensemen don't grow on trees, and there's a commodity for them. And if you want to give up defense to get offense, that's all well and good, but you can't outscore your problems because defense still wins championships in this league, as we've seen. Look, good for Luke. Everybody complains about Dougie Hamilton and his turnover ratio. Luke Hughes had 86 turnovers last year in his own zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. That's a stat from Russ Cole. I'm going to shout him out because I heard him say it. That's not a good number. He needs to be better defensively in his own zone. He's a great player that moves the puck. Hamilton's name's going to be out there continuously. I wouldn't do it if I was the general manager because the following year is UFA anyway. So I know you don't want to let guys walk for nothing. But in this situation, you may have to because if you want to win, you're going to need a player like that.
Filk, Dougie Hamilton being moved next offseason.
Where's the depth at beer? Where's the depth behind him? I'm not even a big fan of this Luke Hughes contract.
No.
I don't like $9 million, especially when Noah Dobson, who had a 70-point year, just got 9.5. What does Quinn Hughes get when his contract comes up?
Yep.
11.5. Well,
what is
McCarr's getting 13.
14 when he hits free agency.
McCar's getting 14. Easily he's getting 14.
I think this good for the NHLPA because this is a massive win for them. Because now that just jacked everybody's contracts through the roof. You want to talk about Kaprizov? At least Kaprizov's right near the top of the game. Luke Hughes has got a lot to prove. And I'm not saying he can't be good. Let me be clear because I do think there's a lot of potential with this kid. But he's got a lot to prove before getting $9 million. So that's a win for him, his camp, and the NHLPA. Big time. But yeah, what depth is there? Like Casey's a left side guy, right?
Casey can play the right side.
But he's a left-handed defenseman.
Yeah.
Right? He's left-handed.
Yeah.
Nemec, right-handed?
Right-handed shot. Yeah.
Okay. So if Simone Nemec comes up within the next year and he starts to look like he has a future as a top
He's actually a right-handed shot. Casey's right-handed shot too.
Casey's okay. So you have two possible options that could be there, but are not nearly not proven yet. We're talking about Luke Hughes being unproven. Then those two they're not even in Luke Hughes' atmosphere right now.
No.
Stratosphere. So for me, I don't know how you can move Hamilton without having some sort of contingency plan. And if you move him, who's going to replace 23 minutes per game?
And is it going to be Jonathan Kovacevic?
No. Listen, Kovacevic is not a bad defenseman.
No, he's
Don't
not.
get me
I'm
wrong.
not knocking the guy. I'm not knocking him at all.
No, I know you're not. I think 4 is a little high for him, but I still think he's a solid defenseman. But he's not taking 22 minutes a game responsibly. Who is? And that's the issue. So you're going to have to go out and sign somebody else who's probably going to want, if you're going to want somebody that's close to Hamilton or better, you're probably shelling out $10 million at that point. Who are you giving that to?
And who's playing and let's bring the big hypothetical in here. Say Quinn Hughes does come to New Jersey, right? Well, he's getting more money. He's the number one on the left side. So now little brother either is moving down on the left side or is going to have to do what Lane Hutson's doing right now and learning how to play on the right side.
And that was my issue with the Dobson trade. You bring him in, you sign him to $9.5 million a year, and he's not even going to be on power play 1.
Yep.
So now you're paying him $9.5 million, and you're taking away one of probably his biggest asset in point production because he's not going to be on the power play. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
You could say that about a lot of teams. Nashville, Rangers, Ducks at one point.
No, but I'm just talking specifically in the aspect of teams that go and make these trades and then sign these big free agents or sign somebody to a big deal when they're going to have to misuse them because they have other guys that are better at that one facet that you're bringing in that guy for. I don't get it.
Buffalo with Bo Byram playing the wrong side.
Mm-hmm.
How? That's just stupid too. Why did they not move him? You don't have the faith in him to play his right side because you think everybody else is better on his side, so you're playing him on the wrong side. Why not move the guy? It's like Braden Schneider. If you think so highly and everybody thinks that Braden Schneider is this great guy that you build around, but you're afraid to play him top 4 and you're going to now move him on the left side, why not move him for something and get something that helps you on the side that you need the help on?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I guess I'll finish this one off, guys, because I was on beer too. Because my only question is, how many Hughes do you want on this team? Because after all, I mean, Quinn's decision is probably going to happen next year.
All your Hughes belong to us.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest. I wrote this. I think it's detrimental to Luke Hughes and his development if Quinn is there, because then he doesn't get the time that he's asking for, that he can prove, right?
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so you just signed him to $9 million, and you're giving him that contract based on growth, right? You're paying him for potential, and you're buying out UFA.
Exactly.
So why are you going to go and bring in his older brother, who is probably number 2 in the game right now, who's probably also the second best power play quarterback in the game right now, and then you're going to stunt his growth, and you're not going to get what you want out of that contract because of that? Makes no sense.
And the Canucks will Canuck anyway because he'll probably end up staying.
That's another story.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me started on everything that's going on.
Well, that's another episode.
We'll leave that for another episode.
And I mean, I for one, I'm sort of like in the Eli Manning aspect of I'm so much younger than my older brothers. I never really got the chance to play with them until I was well into my teens. So sometimes brothers don't have to all play together.
No.
And maybe it should just be a Quinn and Luke show. That's another thing too.
Because the
sorry, not
Stahl
Quinn and
brothers
Luke.
worked out in Carolina, right, boys?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it worked out in Carolina, right? I mean, Mark Stahl never joined them. And he had plenty of opportunity to late in his career.
But they
All
played
right.
together in Florida.
Let's go with another extension that signed earlier this week when Anthony Stolarz re-signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I did not have his AAV right here. I believe it's 3.79 off the top of my head. I got to check that.
I'll pull that up for you.
Yeah,
I think it's
thanks.
7.5. I think it's 3.75.
3.75.
Yeah, 3.75, and he has a modified no trade through this entire contract, which goes from 26-27 through 29-30.
Yeah, but doesn't it shift the trade protection shifts, correct?
Yes. So 25-26 right now, he has a 16-team no trade. Next year, it's 16-team. The year after, 10. And the year after that, 10. And then the final year is a 5-team.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, that's so.
It's
that's
openings.
Yeah.
Well, you look at his numbers the last 3 years. For goalies that have started 80 games, he's third in the NHL with a .919 save percentage. And you look at the numbers he put up last year, it was the only thing that stood between Connor Hellebuck and the goaltending Triple Crown. Anthony Stolarz is a top 10 starting goalie in the league right now. Phil.
Just because I'm having trouble with this and the goaltender's like, all right, so he's not better than Hellebuck. He's not better than Shesterkin. I think Wolf is better than him already. You know what? I'm going to say Shot.
Okay.
I'm going to say Shot. Just because it's top 10, I don't think he's top 10. I'm not saying that he's terrible, but I don't think he's top 10. I could put him somewhere in the maybe 20-25 range. Somewhere between 15 and 25, depending on who you have. I mean, without looking at all the goaltending stats off the top of my head, I'm just going to say Shot strictly because I don't think he's top 10.
Jim, what do you think? Could you put him in the top 10 of goalies right now in the league?
No disrespect to the Jersey boy because I like him. He's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going Shot with Phil here too. I just can't do it because you look at it. You listed a bunch of them. I mean, there's two guys down in Florida, right? Dustin Wolf. When Demko's healthy, is he better than Demko? Ottinger, Swayman.
Yeah.
Markstrom's there. Like then you're getting to that territory of okay, top 10, 15. Is he 15? Like in there, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to prove to me he can play, a full season. And when he does play a full season and gets more of those starts, does that save percentage go down? Because his save percentage has been great, splitting in a tandem. It's a great tandem that they have. He got the protection that he wanted, the security that he wanted. But, there's I didn't even mention Olmark and all these other guys, right? There's
Logan Thompson, somebody we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Darcy Kemper, is he better than Darcy Kemper out in LA?
You can make the argument there.
Yeah.
I think Kemper benefits from good defense. I want to see how they are defensively without Gavrikov.
Me too. But I'm saying there's a lot of guys that,
is he better than Aiden Hill?
I think he's better than Aiden Hill. But again,
I don't think he's better than Phil
Aiden Hill also benefited from a good defense, and they don't have Shea Theodore now. So
No, it's Petrangelo. They don't have.
Petrangelo, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's Petrangelo, I'm sorry. But they also don't have Haig either because he went over to Nashville, I believe, right?
I think that's
Yeah,
actually
he went over to Nashville.
distraction,
Yeah.
but that's another
So
story.
I think I'm not putting him top 10. Like, I just don't think so. Not right now anyway. If he can continue the production that he puts out, especially that save percentage number, then we can have a discussion next year. But right now, no.
Yeah, first things first, you have to play games. So I'm
Yeah.
going shot on this. I'm not going to consider somebody who's got a career high of 34 games played in a season as one of the top 10 goalies in the league. But because that's been my number one complaint about guys that are playing in 50 games in the league. Because I still remember when you had, I remember watching Grant Fuhr start, 76 consecutive games to begin a season. Might have been 74, and then he got injured in that game. That's the only reason why he got pulled out of it. And then John Casey took the job after that and gave up to Steve Yzerman, OT winner. So that was 1996, in case if anybody.
That's because Grant Fuhr appeared in 79 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
He
you're
was
not seeing
everywhere.
guys playing 79 games anymore. It's not happening.
Yeah, that's never going to happen
That's
ever again.
not happening.
That's another
Mike
reason
Keenan's
why
big
I
editor.
don't think goaltenders should be making double digits.
Right.
Like, nobody's doing that anymore.
But still, 60 games in a season is still, I think that's where goaltenders should look to go, have the stamina, be able to do it. And just as you were saying, Jim, he goes from 34 games in a year. Let's say he goes from 34 to 50. That save percentage is coming down.
Way down. And don't forget, he did that save percentage. And everybody looks at, he's top 10 in save percentage. He's the backup in Florida, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
back up in Florida and
back up in Anaheim for many years, start in Philadelphia. Like, good for him because he's finally getting in the groove that everybody thought he was in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Good on him, right? He got the job security now, but you got to stay healthy.
That's a big thing. And look, we're not going to completely kill him for the last injury he had because he had Sam Bennett's elbow accidentally hit the side of his head.
Yeah, accidentally on purpose.
Yeah. So we'll start with that one. And then we'll move on a little bit further and just say, and you got to give me more than this. It can't be 34 games. And I know because I know NHL Network, and they got a lot of great contributors. By the way, you just mentioned Ross Cohen, the world according to Ross. But it's they got a lot of great contributors. But I had some of the guys that were trying to sell us on that, and I'm going, yeah, show me more. I mean, maybe Joseph Woll is the guy that really takes the
Leafs hope he was the guy. The Leafs have been hoping he's been the guy.
Yeah. So no, I gotta go. I gotta go away from Stolarz. And you know what? Maybe Stolarz does make the jump and at least plays 50 games, but maybe that save percentage goes down a little bit. I still can't put him top 10.
No.
Even with the drop off of Shesterkin and Sorokin, they're still ahead of them. Those are guys I trust in net.
And
right
I think
now.
Sorokin's going to bounce back this year for the Islanders.
I think he is
imagine
too.
both of those guys would bounce back. For me, it's you can't have a guy that isn't meeting the game's requirements to be considered the league leader in a stat, be a top 10 goalie, and he just doesn't have the body of work as a starter to do that. And Mark said, like, you've gotta have the games, and he doesn't have the games. And I mean, there are other guys that no one mentioned Philip Gustafson.
He's a good goaltender.
He's
great
definitely
goaltender. Great goaltender.
Absolutely top 10.
Absolutely.
But there are other guys.
Mentioned in the comments.
Yeah, Omar Saros is still going. I mean,
I would still take UC Saros over him, despite what happened in front of him in Nashville last year.
Right.
We're putting Binnington ahead of him.
What's that?
We put Binnington ahead of it.
Who?
Jordan Binnington.
He's so inconsistent. What Jordan Binnington are you getting? Are you getting 4 Nations?
The guy that was 4 Nations in the final. That guy, the guy that won a Stanley Cup consistently night in, night out.
Like, if you're getting that, no. But that's the thing. You're not getting that. It's like what I always say about Jacob Markstrom. He's leap year. What Jacob Markstrom are you getting? Are you getting the Vezina guy, caliber runner-up that was from 21-22? Or are you getting what you've gotten from him since? I mean,
and if he didn't get hurt last year, I think he was on pace for another really good season.
yeah, it just, you don't know what you're getting from him, and you don't know what you're getting from Bennington. I mean, you could argue those guys maybe, but I mean, I don't know if those guys are definitively better than Stolarz, because they're both the question marks, all three of them.
No, I get it.
Just to put this out there in the universe, when Linus Ullmark won his Vezina trophy, it was under Jim Montgomery. I think Jim Montgomery is going to get the best he can out of Jordan Binnington as of right now. All right, let's go actually to the Central Division where the St. Louis Blues play. You had Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele with 41 and 39 goals, respectively. That's first and second in the Central, as well as Jordan Kyrou, who was third with 36 goals. Jim, start with you on this one. The Central will have 2 40-goal scorers this season.
Round. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, because we're not discounting the guys also that going to have a bounce back in Colorado and maybe a 40-goal scorer as a defenseman, potentially. Kel McCarr, I mean, that guy's unbelievable. I mean, it'd be hard for a defenseman to do it, but he would be the guy to do it, considering what he does on that power play. But Kyle Connor's only getting better as a goal scorer. Jordan Kyrou's only getting better. Jason Robertson can have a bounce back year. Everybody forgets what he's done. There's a lot of good players in that division that can score goals. Mikko Rantanen could put them up. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going with a round on this one. I think there's just too many guys that have the potential to score goals. And the way offense is going in this league, yeah, I'm going round here.
All right. Bilk, are there going to be 2 or more 40-goal scorers in the Central?
I'm going to go round. I can pencil in Connor for 40, like easy. I wouldn't even be. We've seen him score as much, I think, as 47. I think is his career high.
Yeah.
But I think Connor could possibly break 100 points this year. This is a big contract year for him, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's like somewhere between 45 and 50 and 100 plus points. Mark Scheifele had 39 in a big bounce back year for him. I wouldn't be shocked if he hits 40 again. Otherwise, in the Central, you're looking at someone like Jordan Kyrou, who I think could finally break through. You got him. Look, maybe someone like Dallas. Maybe Jason Robertson gets back to 40. Then, I mean, there are definitely a few guys in this division who have the capability.
Kaprizov, I'm forgetting about him. He could put 40 up.
If he, yeah. He's healthy.
I forgot about him. He did it 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. You look at all of the players that are in that division. There's just a ton of talent on those teams. I mean, Utah, Clayton Keller.
Yeah.
And then I would also look out for Dylan Guenther.
That's a great pick.
Mm-hmm. That's another one who I think could possibly net 40 this year. Maybe even Connor Bedard.
That's what, yeah, like so many guys, right? Like I think that it's definitely a possibility this year.
And then, if we're talking about guys that we're forgetting about just because they're playing on bad teams, but Philip Forsberg's done.
You got mine that I was about to mention.
He took them. Marshall's done it. Stamkos has done it.
Stamkos is done. I don't know about Stamkos anymore.
No, I know, but he's done it.
Forsberg, man, I wouldn't be shocked.
Kid's a beast. Kid's a beast.
Well, he had 48 2 years ago. That's one reason why I was going to bring him up. I'm going to go round on this one, guys. I think there's going to be a lot more scoring, and especially for the Central. And yeah, I think McKinnon's going to crack 40 again. I don't think it's just going to be Kyle Connor. I don't know if Scheifele gets 40 again. I think, but supposedly Scheifele has been more than motivated because he didn't make Team Canada. And of course, just the roller coaster of emotions he felt the last game of the year between losing his dad, scoring the goal that put him ahead, and then being in the penalty box when he had to watch Winnipeg just lose an OT. That was heartbreaking for him. But it was, Scheifele, I always think the world of Mark Scheifele. He might prove me wrong on that. I'm going, I don't think he's going to do it, but he might have one of the best seasons we're going to talk about in his career very, very, very soon this year. So But does he score 40 goals? That's a lot, but maybe he makes everybody else better around him. I mean, Forsberg, you guys mentioned Bedard already. Kaprizov was another one. And who knows? Maybe Matthew Boldy finally gets over 40 this year. There's a lot of guys.
That would be an interesting one, too.
Yeah.
And now that the stress of the contract's off, because I've made this point too. I've said this before. Like, take, for instance, Kirill Kaprizov, if he didn't sign yesterday, Matthew Boldy gets a pass from him and he doesn't bury it, that you might start thinking to yourself and creeping in, I got to bury those because I got to get Kirill paid. Yeah. Otherwise, he's going to want to leave or something like that. I've said that before. If you guys think that's far-fetched, throw it down in the comments.
I mean, it's not that far-fetched, to be honest. Guys, you would be surprised guys gripping sticks just to get in contract years, right?
Yeah, and sometimes that's where the effect of your teammate being a free agent comes into it, because you want to make sure everybody has that chance.
We always clown on Mark for mistakes, but I want to give Mark credit here. Good call on Philip Forsberg. I didn't even realize he had 48 2 years ago, and he had 94 points. That's a massive year.
Huge he had 42 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know he had 40. It was in the 21-22 season. I think he had 42. Yeah, 42. Yeah, but 48 2 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, that was the year that he was second in scoring. I forgot who was got over 96 points in that season. I forgot. I mean, was he a pretty good defenseman? Maybe won a Norris before. Maybe deserved another Norris, but they gave it to somebody else. But
yeah, that 21-22 season that Josie should have won the Norris.
Yeah,
it's not the argument of us that Kel McCarr isn't great. It's that
he's the best.
He's the best defenseman in the league.
Yeah.
However, I just have the opinion he won his Norrises in the years that he shouldn't have
won them, and then he didn't win in a year that he should have won it. Probably
right. Exactly. That's usually how it works, right? Don't forget, I was just looking at stats on Dallas. Wyatt Johnson had 33 goals last year.
Yeah,
another one who could hit 40, and I've been high on him for a while.
The
Rangers drafted the wrong guy in 21.
What else is new?
Oh no, don't worry. It'll all snap back into place after the fourth time he's sent down to start the season. Anyway, let's go over to another guy that's joining the Edmonton Oilers. As Utah has traded Connor Ingram to the Oilers. He was tied for the NHL, not last season, the season before, with 6 shutouts. By the way, he was my 9th best Connor in the NHL right now in my list that I made earlier on in the year. But Connor Ingram will be the Edmonton Oilers version of Adin Hill in 2023, Jim.
I'm going to go beer here because I think this organization has so much faith in Stuart Skinner that it might be blinding them because they love this guy. The players love this guy. The entire organization loves this guy. They want this guy to succeed. They believe in this guy. The problem is Connor Ingram is proven to be a really good NHL goaltender. And everybody forgets, Utah is Utah, but he did this also on some really bad Arizona Coyote teams.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the big reasons why the Coyotes were in the playoff race before they tailed off in that second half of that year before they relocated. So I like Connor Ingram. The issue is, does Chris Knobloch, do Stan Bowman see it at a point where if Skinner's not proving his worth, do they go to him and say, hey, we got to just try this guy out and just roll with him? Because that's what happened in Vegas. Everybody got hurt. It was Adin Hill's show. Adin Hill proved that he could be the guy. He got paid and Logan Thompson got moved out. So if the Oilers decide to make that move and Ingram steals the show, somebody's going.
Yeah, and look, that's always what we talk about in sports. You got to make sure that you're able to be healthy first and have the slot in there. Filk, you think that Connor Ingram gets the shot that Adin Hill did?
I think that they're already past the point of what Jim said. I think they're like I don't think you go and make this deal if you don't have faith in the goalies that are already on your roster. That's just my look on it. I'm going to say shot to this just because I don't see Edmonton winning the cup.
Mhm.
Maybe if Florida is completely unhealthy and Barkov can't come back from that knee injury and be anywhere close to the player that he is, and Matthew Tkachuk is still banged up by the end of the year and he's still not at 100%. Maybe Florida, obviously our predictions are not looking good after that injury, but maybe someone else has a chance, but I don't think it's Edmonton. I just, unless they go and they can make a big defensive acquisition at this point, and Connor Ingram's salary is nothing. He's not even making $1 million a year. So it's absolutely nothing. But, I mean, Skinner is just, he's proven he's not the guy. Picker came in and played well for a little bit, but, you know, those guys aren't passable NHL goaltenders to win a cup with. And that's why I've been saying for years, like, you build down at center, and then you build your defense, and then your goaltending. But I think Ingram is better than both of those guys, but how much better really is the question. And that's what's going to get them. Like, you need passable and, like, above average goaltending. Edmonton hasn't had that for years now. So what are they going to get from Ingram? I don't know. Are they getting the 6 shutout Connor Ingram that led the league in shutouts a couple of years back? With that defense in front of him? I don't know. I don't. But the one thing I will say is that they'll probably have the puck more than the other team because it's Draisaitl and McDavid. And now you add maybe a Calder candidate and Isaac Howard playing with some of those guys. Young talent that they've desperately needed to come up. Oh, funny how they let Dylan Holloway and Phil Broberg go because offer sheets are fun, yeah. But you need that type of talent, and they haven't had that. Maybe this injection helps, but I don't see them as any better than they were last year or the year before.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go. I'm going to go beer on this one because I do have a lot of faith in Connor Ingram. And one of the things just to mention with him, he had a .907 save percentage and 6 shutouts on Arizona Coyotes team that was stripped down to the studs, and they were trying to rebuild it in a college stadium. The game that I went to go see there, Carl Vejmelka was in net. So he was trying to establish himself over Carl Vejmelka. I'll give him he might get a shot at some point this year to actually prove that he could do this, but it's almost like the way Jerry Jones picks a coach. Let me go with Jason Garrett. He picked Jason Garrett. He anointed Jason Garrett, said, this is the guy. And he refused to fire him, kept holding on to him forever. And then eventually let him go. And what I mean by that is sometimes management will just anoint the guy. Even though this isn't Stan Bowman's guy, I think they also know their best chance to win a Stanley Cup is behind Stuart Skinner, not Calvin Pickard. And although I like calling him Calvin Picard, just so I can think of Star Trek for a second. But I think they're going to go with Skinner, and they're going to ride him till no end. But the thing is, are you going to get good Skinner or bad Skinner? I mean, there's so many times a Skinner, it's either that's good, that's bad, that's good, that's bad. So we're going to see how that goes. I really like it that Connor Ingram's getting another shot in the league. Although, Jim, basically Connor Ingram moving on, that means Carter Hart's going to Utah, right?
Is he going to Utah? Is he going to Vegas? Is he going to Carolina? Is he not playing? Is he going to get the Slava Voinov treatment? Like, they already have 2 goalies there. Everybody forgets Vitek Vanacek's the backup in Utah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I think Utah's goalie is kind of set, right? You got Vejmelka and you got Vanacek.
Yeah.
I think those are the 2 guys there. Does he go to Vegas because there's only a Kirill Schmid? I mean, I guess they want to have – I mean, does this team care about public backlash and PR and stuff? And I'm not giving – by the way, I'm not giving Carter Hart a 2-year contract. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Even if it's prorated, I'm not giving him a 2-year contract. Like, you got to go prove to me you can play. Yeah, guy hasn't played hockey in 20 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time to not see a puck.
That's a lot of time, right? And now you're going to be thrown in as the backup. Oh, great. You get a conditioning stint. You get a longer conditioning stint in the AHL. Great. Okay. That's fine. But again, if I could see other moves being done by Vegas to go find an NHL proven ready backup goaltender, considering that they have some big guys that are hurt this year. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with these Team Canada guys, because remember, Slava Voinov was cleared of his misdoings and misgivings, and charges were dropped against him. Nobody wanted to touch it. Like, he was eligible to come back. He's a really good defenseman. NHL said, nah, we don't want to do it.
Yeah, and look, more credit to them, because look, if you don't even want the smoke, never mind the fire.
Yeah.
We could have a whole debate about this one. We're not going to be doing that right now.
No.
But no, I'm just saying that. I mean, yeah, we could have.
No, I get it. Everybody's right, and everybody has the right to their opinion, whether it is. Me personally, I don't want the smoke.
Yeah.
So that's just
you don't need the distraction.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. No, and maybe Vegas could get away with that, but still, maybe Vegas isn't the right place. Maybe if he went to Mormon country, that would have been a different story. All right. Jim, how much more time do you have?
What do you got coming? I got a couple, probably like another 5 minutes if you can.
Okay. Do you want to discuss the behavior of New York fans, or would you rather start doing some pick'ems?
I want to discuss the behavior of the New York fans.
All right. Because that's where our discussion topic is. We're going to bring this back for this week, guys. We're going to discuss the behavior of the New York fans. We know about the way the fans were at the Ryder Cup this week, that you had some of them saying derogatory things and getting thrown out, and also other ones that threw objects, and one of them that hit Rory McIlroy's wife. But it kind of made New Yorkers look bad. And you got two of us that are right here. And there are other incidents we could talk about, but one of the other incidents that come to mind as of recently was Game 5, Rangers versus Tampa Bay, where a Lightning fan got cold clocked at MSG. Jim, as the outsider on this one, not from New York, I mean, like, how bad does this make New York fans look?
I mean, it looks bad because I always thought, like, look, I like New York fans. I think they're some of the most passionate fans out there. I said it in my video the other day when it comes to tennis, right? There's a reason why American tennis players love playing the U.S. Open. You get that crowd support, right? At night, the night matches, the rallying, you're down in a set, down 2 sets. They want you to come back, the cheering. Ranger fans are passionate. Islander fans, all sports fans in New York are so passionate, right? It was stupid. Like, it was dumb. We're talking about the fans, and instead of we're talking about what happened on the golf course, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like, you don't want to be talking about what happened outside the ropes. We should be talking about, oh, hey, how USA again blew it on Friday and Saturday because they can't play team golf. Like, okay, It's all well and good you came back on Sunday, right? It's all well and good. But you didn't. If you learned how to play team golf, you wouldn't have been in that position trying to have a miracle comeback on Sunday. And everybody wants to talk about the rules, all envelope, this and that. Yeah, well, guess what? I'll throw this one back at you. If Europe swept both foursomes, it's 13.5 points. They only need a half point anyway to retain the cup. So that's semantics. I didn't like what I saw because I've watched other Ryder Cups, and granted, I've seen the Ryder Cup evolve over the years, right? We've had the cheating stuff, the gamesmanship with the players, the war at the shore, Brookline, all the stuff. Like, we've seen that. This got to a point where I'm just like, why can't you just cheer for your own players? Because that's what they needed. They didn't need you heckling Rory McIlroy every time he touched the ball. Like, they needed your fan support, and you didn't get it. And I don't like the stuff, like the fighting. And again, maybe it's, one of those guys. Maybe I'm one of those guys that, I'm a CM Punk guy, straight edge. But a lot of it has to do with the alcohol being served at these events. Like, the people just get inebriated and they just say stupid shit. And that's my opinion on it. It's not everybody, but the guys that do it make everybody look bad. And they did. Like, all the stupid stuff outside the ropes was unnecessary this weekend and last week at the Ryder Cup. It was unnecessary. And then, I've seen it at Yankee Red Sox games. I've seen it like at the old stadium.
Mhm.
I've seen it at Giant games. Again, that's in New Jersey. So, I mean, again, everybody comes over. But again, I've seen some stuff at the Ranger games and, even Devil games I've seen it at where guys get fights in the hallway for some reason. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, it's just a game, people. Like, calm down. There's a lot more in life to worry about. So I didn't like it. I'll just say that. It was stupid. It made New Yorkers look bad because there's a lot of passionate fans in New York, especially Ranger fans, Islander fans. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I'll give my opinion on this in a second. But Phil, you just take it from there.
I really don't follow golf, so I don't know everything that happened. But I don't like, Ryder Cup antics and nothing. Yeah,
It's a little bit. It's still the New York fans that are in there that I guarantee people didn't come over from London throwing beers at players.
Well, I think there are people that came from a lot of different places that have come from out of town that probably also did some things too. So it's not just New York fans. I don't like all this stuff. Rory McIlroy's wife getting hit with something reminds me of like what the Yankee fans did to Cliff Lee's wife, especially when the Yankees wanted to sign Cliff Lee, and he ended up going elsewhere. That probably persuaded him. I mean, they avoided a bullet, thankfully, but maybe if they would have gotten Cliff Lee, maybe they would have won a World Series in one of those few years right after they signed him, for all we know. But it's none of this is classy. I don't like any of it. It just, the fighting and stuff like that. It's sports. Go and have a good time and stop being an asshole. Drinking alcohol doesn't give you a pass to being a piece of shit, basically. And that's what a lot of people are doing, and I don't like that. And I like going to sporting events, but the cost of tickets plus dealing with some of that type of stuff makes me okay with watching from home, because you don't have to deal with that. You don't have to pay $20 for a beer. It's expensive. It's an expensive trip. It's not a family-friendly trip anymore for anyone who has kids or is bringing young ones. I mean, I don't know. I just cut the shit. Really. Just cut the shit and stop being an asshole and just go enjoy whatever event it is.
Well, I'll say this first before I get on to sounding like I'm lecturing, but there is the negative aspects that end up being positive aspects. Fans that were heckling Rory McIlroy, and McIlroy goes on and goes, "Hey, why don't you shut the F up?" And then he turns around and he hits a shot 2 inches next to the cup. And in the press conference, they asked him, "Hey, what did it feel like after you were getting heckled?" He said it felt absolutely amazing. But it's also golf. You're not supposed to act like that at a golf match. You don't act like that at a tennis match. But yeah, there is that positive support, that well of support that helped the U.S. team on Sunday. That was positivity that was in there, because there is no crowd like a New York crowd when it gets behind you. There absolutely is not. And case in point, let me bring up a positive before I go into any more negatives. Phil, do you remember 2022? Igor Shesterkin had a very poor first 9 games of a playoff, and a year that he was an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
The Rangers go up 2-0 on Carolina. He lets in a questionable goal. I think it was Nino Niederreiter, if I recall correctly. And the Ranger fans got up, chanted Igor to kind of get his confidence back. And it worked. It ended up, he ended up not dropping a home game the rest of the way and winning game 7 in that series. But it's just, remember when you're at these events, you represent New York. You represent us. Be smart, be intelligent, be tough, be a lot of things. You don't have to constantly be lowbrow with a lot of other things. It's just, we need to make sure we show that we're better than this. We don't need to be throwing beers at anybody. And first off, I hope it doesn't end up ruining the chance for the Bethpage Black, which is an amazing golf course, to get either the PGA Championship or the U.S. Open in the future. I don't think there's a Ryder Cup coming back to New York anytime soon.
No,
So,
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
That probably not. I mean, I don't get that.
This is
you hurt more things than yourself by doing what you did there.
right. And this is just, I guess, really, I'm more of a plea to New Yorkers. Let's just be better. There's no reason why you can't scream some trash. You want to scream some trash? Whatever you say, sticks and stones can't break your bones. But a fully loaded can of beer could. So don't go hurling that around. Especially don't go hurling that around when you're at your home stadium. I remember one time I was at the Mets home opener in 2006. They won the game and somebody threw a beer and hit a friend of mine in the head. So it just everybody just kind of let's just be better. Maybe that's just where I'm getting at that. All right. Let's because again, you represent New York everywhere. We don't want to have bad. I've gone around to other rinks and other arenas, and you get the people that kind of look at us with oh, you're from New York. I don't like that. So, and I would love to go to some more away arenas. Hopefully soon.
Why
absolutely. That's a great point. Why waste a beer that's $20? So
yeah, seriously.
Right. And as you can see, the dollar value under my name that Kirill Kaprizov could buy a whole lot of them. So let's do some Big Apple hockey pickups while I still got Jim here.
I've got a gut feeling.
You want me to do two things?
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Now shoot!
All right, so we're going to have to make some choices right now. Let's start with this one. Jim, more power play goals on the New York Rangers, or the most power play goals on the Rangers, or Artemi Panarin or the Field?
I'll take Panarin.
Filk?
I'm going to go with Field. I feel like maybe Mika Zibanejad or JT Miller has like a big year on the power play for them.
I'm going to go JT Miller specifically. I think the days of us talking about Mika Zibanejad as a productive player are next to gone.
Well, I mean, and real quick, like, you better find a new position for him instead of that one-timer because everybody knows that's coming.
Yeah. And after all, his highest scoring goal season per game was when he was playing in the bumper.
Yeah.
So I mean, the way I kind of feel about him, and I'll bring this up, is like that Simpsons on when Marge parked on the bridge and Chief Wiggum says, "Did you flash your lights at her?" Yeah. Well, I'm out of ideas. It's just like that with Mika. It's just like, did I try to one-timer? Could you do anything else, Mika? Anyway, Phil, well, you start this one. Where should Cal Ritchie start, NHL or AHL?
I'm going to go AHL. It doesn't really hurt to start him there. I mean, if Matt Barzal wasn't playing center, I would say start him in the NHL and let him go. But I could see him going down, doing very well, and then getting a call up. So I don't think it would hurt to have him start in the AHL.
Jim, where should Cal Ritchie start?
I think you should start in the AHL. I think just get used a little bit more used to playing the style that they want to play. And it's always good to have depth in Bridgeport for them. Again, Barzal's playing well. Now, Ritchie has impressed, but I think because they've utilized Barzal at the center position, if they were going back to the old line combinations, I say NHL because you need 2C. But right now, let them season. Let them cook a little bit.
I really want to start him at the NHL, but I'm going to have to go AHL. This is a little bit different from the Noah Laba situation because I think you're going to see probably JG Pajot get moved. I wouldn't move Casey Zigas. I know somebody mentioned that. We talked about that last week. No. But, I mean, you could put him down there, get a little bit of seasoning, let him play as a top six forward and build up his confidence. Hopefully he tears it up in the AHL. But just start him in the AHL. Let him know he's going to have his time soon enough. And unfortunately, the way Matt Barzal stays healthy, hopefully Barzal is going to be healthy, but his health has not been great over the last few years. All right, Jim, which center is going to have more points? Or sorry, more goals this season?
Ooh.
Let me try this. More goals this season. Tage Thompson or Braden Point?
Ooh, two good players. Like both players. Point had a lot of goals last year. Thompson had a lot of goals last year. Thompson's going to be motivated. I'm going to go with Tage Thompson. Just because I think he's motivated, similar to what we saw with Scheifele, when you were talking about Scheifele. Tage Thompson, he did it at World Championships. He wants to be on that U.S. team for the Olympics. He's one of Buffalo's offensive weapons. Got to utilize Tage Thompson more. Braden Point plays with Kucherov too, right? Like, that kind of helps. Plays on a good team. Tage Thompson got to do it by himself. I think Tage Thompson's going to do it.
I love the way you kind of broke that down. It was almost like you go into Cage. Cage goes into water.
Yeah.
Docks in water.
Yeah. Gotta have some fun.
Our shark. Our Filk, what are you up?
I'm going to be a little bit of a contrarian and say Braden Point. I just think that Nikita Kucherov he might be the best passer in the entire league. Like,
is there any doubt about that?
Yeah, well, Connor McDavid exists.
That's true. I mean, but Kucherov's really close.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, I mean, you have a guy like Nikita Kucherov who's led the league in assists. I believe multiple times now. He's had like multiple 80 assist seasons. So like it's crazy to think about. Yeah, he led the league with 84 last year in 78 games. You have one of the maybe 1A and best playmakers in the league. So yeah, I think it's more than possible that Braden Point ends up having more goals. At Point, I think has had it's 3 consecutive 40-goal years with a 51 goal year in 2023. So that was it. Funny enough, Thompson's big year was also Point's big year, and Point had more goals that year. So I do agree with you on Thompson being motivated, and he's going to want to make the Olympics, which I think he will, especially after the misfires and the mishandling of the USA roster at the Four Nations. But I'm going to go Point. I think Point is going to have a nice year this year.
I'm actually going to go Point too, even though he was 2 goals short of Thompson last year. I'll tell you, the people that really want him, Tage Thompson, to be number 1 over this, Buffalo fans, they're going to really want him to really explode this year and maybe get Buffalo out of the basement in the Atlantic, because like Buffalo, this is a guy that's he's been blossoming as a star before our eyes. And I really hope that the game-winning goal at the World Championships really does kind of propel him to win another level. I'd love to see Tage Thompson eclipse 50 for the first time in his career. Filk, better season, Cutter Gauthier or Trevor Zegras?
I'm going to go Zegras just because I like the way he's looked with Michkov so far. Like, yes, it's preseason, but you put Trevor Zegras with the most talented winger he might ever play with, possibly, and is a guy that I think is going to have a massive breakout year after having a Calder caliber type year last year. So for me, you got one of the best up-and-coming goal scorers in the league. But then you also have another great up-and-coming goal scorer who had a really nice year in Anaheim last year in Cutter Gauthier. And better season doesn't just mean more points. Like, let's make that clear. That's why we're saying season. But Cutter Gauthier could end up maybe outscoring Zegras if it comes down to it.
Mm-hmm.
He could. There's a possibility he could. There's a lot of young talent in Anaheim, and they just secured some guy named McTavish for $7 million per year, which is a nice little deal for them. But Zegras, I just think that we might see the best version we've seen of Zegras playing with someone like Michkov.
Jim, who do you think is going to have the better season?
Well, I agree with Silk on a lot of points about Zegras because I think he's going to be refreshed. Just going to be different here. I think Gauthier, because I like the way he finished last season for the Ducks, and I think the Ducks, if they're going to make the playoffs this year with McTavish back in the fold, he could benefit playing with McTavish. He could benefit with a guy like Granlund too. I like the way Cutter Gauthier fits in, and he's looking well in that Joel Quenneville system. So I'm going to go with Gauthier on this one.
Yeah. This is going to be close, I think, in a lot of ways in my head. So the tie-breaking factor is going to be Joel Quenneville. I think Joel Quenneville is going to coach him up and coach him up good. He might see something in Cutter Gauthier and really bring out the best of him. So I think Cutter Gauthier is going to have the better season. Trevor Zegras, not that he's got a slacking coach like with Rick Tocchet, who's going to try to coach him up, but Zegras is going to be in a great situation playing with Michkov. I'd love for Zegras to just get a little bit more serious about the NHL right now. This isn't about Instagram. It's not about social media. Go right back and start showing who you were before you got in the league. All right, and the last one for the pick'em segment, guys. Going right back to you, Jim. Who's going to have more points this season out of the last two RFA defensemen that got big contracts? Luke Hughes or Noah Dobson?
That's a good question. I think it's going to be Noah Dobson. Just because I know Phil mentioned the Montreal power play and how they're going to misuse them, but they have two units that can move the puck. And that second unit could have, at one point, you could have Line A and Dimidov on it, on both sides with sniper capability. That's a good problem to have if you're Montreal. And I think Noah Dobson, the way he can move the puck, get guys the puck, score goals, I think Noah Dobson can do it. He's shown he can do it. You mentioned it before, 70 points, right? Luke Hughes' best season is 47 points. I know he's a lot less years in the league. Is he a 50-point defenseman? 55? We don't know. Can he stay healthy? Is that shoulder right? Yes, everybody's going to talk about how he's not playing power play one. He could play power play one. You could go lefty-righty on power play one with Hamilton as well because you need to feed that bomb. I just think, to me, Montreal set up better for Noah Dobson to have more points this year.
All right. Phil, who do you think is gonna have more points?
You know what? I wanted to lean towards Luke Hughes, but a healthy Hamilton could impact that, and not in a good way. Because if Hamilton's not healthy, then that power play one is all Luke Hughes to run. We also got to worry about Jack Hughes being healthy because it seems like he gets hurt almost every year now. Like if he gets hit, he's out for a significant amount of time. So I also don't like Dobson not being their top power play quarterback in Montreal. But I do think that there's a lot of talent for them to run with it at even strength, as Jimmy was pointing or alluding to. I think that he could get points there just because I think Matheson is going to probably lean a little more into a defensive role at this point because you have guys like Hudson and Dobson that can all move the puck. And then you have guys like Matheson and Gooley who are better defensively than those guys.
And Carrier, too.
Carrier is another one who is also pretty good defensively. But if I could pick like a push, I would. But I'm probably going to have to go Dobson as of right now. Although I think it's going to be very close.
Guys, I'm going to grimace when I say this. I think it's definitely going to be Luke Hughes. I don't even think and the reason why I'm saying grimace is because I think my key factor is Dougie Hamilton's going to get injured because he always does. And then they're going to have to lean on Luke Hughes. And I think that's he's going to have to play on an unreal amount of minutes. Looking at Noah Dobson, let me just say this. He had his big 70-point season. That's good. He had, I have it right here. He had 31 of those points, 32 of those points were at even strength. Sorry, 45, 25 of that was on the power play. The following year, he had 39 points. He had 26 of it at even strength. So a good chunk of his production is on the power play. And if he's going to be on the power play, if he's not going to be on there, I should say, and I don't see how he does get on there unless Hudson's injured, then no, he's not going to get the production. And I do think Luke Hughes then jumps him. Is he a minus 16? That's going to be another thing we're going to have to look at too, because after all, if you're bad in the defensive zone, that could get you benched. I don't know. I just don't think he's going to be the power play one quarterback. So I'm going to go Luke Hughes because I think he's going to end up being the power play one quarterback. All right, guys, and actually that's the end of the pickup segments. So it's going to be Puck Doku next. Jim,
I got to run.
take it off?
I got to run. I got to do some things, but I was glad to be here with you guys talking hockey for you. Glad to be here again, and like I said, can't wait to come back on.
Before you go, Jim, look at that one.
Honor math, baby. Let's go.
134% chance of winning.
That's it.
Well, because unfortunately I didn't have the notes taken right away, so I had to read them on up. But Jim, thanks very much for coming on. And even if you don't guest host with us, we'd love to have you back on as a guest every now and again. Talk a little bit of NHL hockey around the league. So around the year, yeah, we're going to be seeing more of you.
Absolutely. I can't wait, fellas.
All right. Take it easy, Jim.
Take it easy. Bye.
All right. Well, Phil, here we are, and we got Puck Doku now to go play. This
Scott Snyder, man.
Oh man, that math did not do well for me. And by the way, it was nice to see a staunch defense of New York fans, especially
Someone saw my post.
Yeah, and I did see that my lovely wife, my betrothed, had said that the Ryder Cup doesn't mean New York behavior, but it doesn't mean that. It sounds like Philly fan behavior because Philly fans love to throw stuff. And as also is it better mentioned, Jose Canseco was hit with batteries in New York after going on a date with Madonna. I don't know. I know this. I just didn't understand the significance of the date with Madonna because isn't she from Michigan? But still. Anyway, yeah, I still think just New York fans. Let's be better. Just let's stop people from acting completely stupid. Now, granted, one of the stories I had was hitting a Mets fan with a plastic beer bottle because.
Funny enough, Madonna is actually from the same place as the Steiner brothers, Bay City in Michigan.
Oh, all right. How about that? All right. So we got Puck Doku right here, Phil and I, and you guys know I've been trying to instill a 5-minute timer in there. So let me just get that ready. And
ooh, okay, here we go.
Bill, the timer starts. Well, first let me just announce what we got. We have a New Jersey Devil, a Tampa Bay Lightning, and a Florida Panther on our top row, and our y-axis is a Buffalo Sabre, New York Ranger, and a 90-plus save percentage, so that's 900 or better save percentage in their careers. Is that a season or a career, actually, Phil? Is that season?
I think that's a
season.
Season? Yeah,
that is season.
Season.
Okay, 5 minutes. Here we go. Sorry, guys, the timer went away. Here we go. 5 minutes starting now. Phil, where do you want to go first? Should we go to the Ranger Devil and go to Joe Cirella?
For 90 save percentage, Corey Schwab.
For the Devils, got it.
Yeah.
Corey Schwab. And he's a 1%er.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get much better than that, though. It would be tough to find somebody that low.
Yeah. But right here, Joe Cirella, you think Troy Millette would be lower?
Troy Millette. Definitely Millette.
Troy Millette, who is a 0.2, he was acquired for Adam Graves as compensation.
Yes.
All right, where do you want to attack next?
Rangers and Lightning, Rob Zominer.
Rob Zominer.
Z-A-N. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Rangers.
And how about right here, Randy Gillen?
Yeah, that's a good one. I could do that.
Who was the one you were going for?
I was gonna. Well, I could have went in other directions. A few other guys. I mean, Joe Cirella probably. Joe Cirella might have been a little higher than that actually.
Could have
90 save percentage season for Lightning.
90 save percentage for the Lightning. Could have used Corey Schwab there, I think, maybe.
Probably. Wendell. Did Patrick Blonsky have a 9 save percentage for them?
I think he might have.
No.
Double checking that real quick.
I don't think he did.
Patrick Blonsky. Nope. Missed it. He had a 917 with Phoenix, but that was only in 2 games.
I feel like Wendell Young would be a little higher than 1%.
I think if anybody remembers who Wendell Young is, that would be incredible. Wendell Young did have one season with Tampa Bay, or as a 905 save percentage. Kate Whitmore.
Okay, go Wendell Young. Wendell Young.
Wendell Young. Okay, so we're gonna do that right now.
Go Wendell Young. I would. I have a feeling this might be a little higher.
Wendell Young. Here we go. Now to the Florida Panthers.
Okay.
90 plus save percentage. Did James Ryder have one?
Jamie McLennan, maybe. Let me. I wonder.
Or Mark Fitzpatrick. There's another one.
Fitzpatrick, I think, is going to be too obvious because he was one of the OG Florida goaltenders.
Yeah, but
go
a lot of
people. McLennan, Mark.
Jamie McLennan.
Yeah.
Go with Noodles.
Yeah, go with Noodles.
Jamie McLennan, right there. Buka at 0.8. We're still at a 1 uniqueness score. We need a Florida Panther and a Buffalo Sabre, as well as a Tampa Bay Lightning and a Buffalo Sabre and a New Jersey Devil, a Buffalo Sabre.
Florida and Buffalo, go Randy Moeller.
Randy Moeller, Florida and Buffalo, who is their current
radio
guy over there. Yeah, there he is. Former New York Ranger. He is a 0.6. Yeah. How is he a 0.6 when he's your current color guy? Okay, what we got, Filk? Tampa and Buffalo. How about Brian Holzinger for Tampa and Buffalo?
Too obvious, I think. That's going to be a little too obvious for
Darren Prupa.
Again, too obvious. OG goaltender. He was their starter for like their first 6 years of their existence.
Okay.
I don't think you could do that.
We're now at 59 seconds.
Never played in Buffalo. I was gonna say him. I don't think Sean Chambers played in Buffalo.
I don't believe so either.
Rob didn't. Or hold on. Do we have Buffalo and Devils? No, DeMaio never played with the Devils, did he? I don't think he did. No.
Rob DeMaio? No.
No. Because I know he was at Tampa Bay Lightning. So.
I'm trying to think of somebody off the top of my head right now. I love when there's guys that surprise you. You know who played at Tampa Bay Lightning? Peter Svoboda.
Think too obvious. Too obvious. I think that's going to be above a 1.
Corey Conacher.
I don't think Conacher played in Buffalo though.
I believe he did. By the way, our timer just went off, so now we're in overtime. He played with the Buffalo Sabres in 2013-2014.
Go Conacher then. Go Conacher.
Corey Conacher. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the wrong one. That's the right one.
Yeah, Conacher.
Corey Conacher, 2%er. We'll see on our stats later. And now New Jersey and Buffalo Sabre. I am actually racking my brain on this one. Did Mark Johnson get over there, or
I know he was in Hartford. Mark Johnson from the U.S. Olympic team in 1980. He played in Hartford. I know that.
Yeah, no, he played as Penguin and then a North Star, but he never got to Buffalo. And it's not Marty Biron because he played for everybody that's locals except for the Devils.
Alexander Smack never played for Buffalo.
As our brainstorming is kind of getting there.
Wait, did Vaclav Varada play for the Devils?
I don't think Verada played for the Devils.
No, he was Buffalo and Ottawa. Shit. I knew he played somewhere else other than... Fuck.
Yeah, I'm even like going outside the box and looking at guys like Jason Daw.
No, Daw never... I know Daw never played for the Devils.
There's definitely the Buffalo guy that we're thinking of that we're missing. That he played in Buffalo.
Scott Halloran never played for the Sabres, right? I know he played for Dallas and St. Louis. And then Minnesota. Did he ever play for the Sabres? No. No, he didn't.
Curtis Brown didn't do it. Jeff Sanderson
Curtis Brown
didn't do
was
it.
San Jose. I think he maybe played. Driver never played. Driver went from the Devils to the Rangers, and that was it.
I thought I had one for a second, but I did not. I was looking at Bob.
Thought I had one too.
We're gonna have to come up with one soon, since we're over time.
No.
Daryl Shannon never played for Devils, right?
No. I was gonna say Reed Simpson, but he never played for the Sabres. I know he played for. Oh man.
Sean Burke. No.
This is a tough one.
This was a tough one. I almost was going to shout out Corey's dad and Pat Conacher. That's right. No, dad. He's I don't think they are a relation, actually, now that I think about it. See, that's what happens when you try to be clever, guys. No. See, now I'm trying to go the enforcer route. Because you can't do a constant crossman.
We're getting a suggestion here, Doug Bodger. Let's try that one.
Doug Bodger?
I think that might be higher just because he's a well-known Sabre. He was their number one guy for a while.
It's barely a 1%er, so he was just at 1%.
He was just at 1%. Okay.
All right, let's check out our stats on this one, guys. We had a 1%er, and Doug Bodger was where we were right here. Colin Miller was a guy we should have thought about. Aaron Dell, Richard Smellick. Tom Kerber. How do we forget about
Anthony? Would have gotten Tom Kerber. I'll tell you that right now.
If Anthony was here, would have been there. I did think I said Dmitry Kolokov. I was thinking him. I know that. Bob Corkum. That's a guy that I usually
Bobby Corkum. I've used him in the past.
Damn it! I actually was thinking Eric Rasmussen.
Yes, there was a Devil that played for the Sabres around the late 90s, early 2000s that I was thinking of, and it was Rasmussen, and I had gotten him confused with Verada, and that's why I said Vaclav Verada.
Yeah. All right, and now let's look at some of the guys that we had over here. We had Corey Conacher at 2.7%. So we could have gone with Andre Mazzaros. Let's keep going.
Adam
Zenon
Creighton.
Kadavka.
Oh man, that's one that we've used so many
The constant
times.
Creighton. Once again, the ghost of Anthony is harming us.
Oh,
Dominic Moore, Wayne Primu,
Dominic
Brian
Moore.
Holzinger at 0.6%.
Holzinger was only
Benoit.
0.6%.
Yeah.
I thought
Benoit,
that would have been
balls.
higher. That's my bad then. Oh wow.
For any
I
Archer
couldn't
fan.
believe that.
Benoit, balls.
Bill Holder, that's someone that we've used before.
Bill Holder is one of like my main staples whenever it comes to this. Joe Riki, how do I forget about him?
Anatoly Semyonov, wow.
Yeah.
Nolan Pratt, wow. That's Doug Janik. Yeah.
So, guys, there you go. That's where some of those are. And let's just go for this for the giggles. Guys that were over 900 save percentage in a season. Amazingly, Trevor Kidd and Sean Burke come underneath 1%.
Wow.
Mike Vernon.
I can't believe Mike Vernon comes under 1%.
I could get it. People forget about Mikhail Stolenkov.
Mike Vernon got them to the 2000 playoffs.
Right.
How do people forget about that?
And I mean, Sean Burke was right up there too. And Trevor Kidd was their starter for a while.
Was really the reason they got to the 2000 playoffs. I mean, he has the NHL record, I believe, for most goals out of a total offense still from that 99-2000 season.
And Kirk McLean.
58 out of like 274, I think the Panthers scored that year. And I think that's still the record.
And here's some of the other guys. We went to the wrong journeyman. We should have been thinking Rick Tabaracci as a guy that would be there for Tampa Bay with a 90-plus save percentage or a 900-plus, whichever one you want to refer to that as.
58 out of 244 is actually the number for the 99-2000 Panthers. That's insane. It's 0.237% of their offense. So almost 24% of their offense.
And I guarantee, Phil, by the way, Rick Tabaracci gave up Mark Messier's 500th goal.
Yes.
You got Wendell Young, good choice. But I guarantee if anybody knows the last 5 goaltenders on here.
I know Zach Bjork. Zach Bjork was actually, he was their top prospect at one point, Tampa Bay. He was their top goaltending prospect for a while. I'm surprised that he was that low, but he only played 47 career games. He was a 9th rounder in Tampa Bay in 95, and he was their top goaltending prospect. Actually, may have even been their top prospect before they drafted Vinny Lecavalier.
Yeah. Okay.
He still might have been considered a prospect technically before the 98 season ended. He played 13 games that year.
Like I do remember Zach Bjork, but that's a.
I was about to say I remember him in Tampa. Some of the other guys are Jeff Frazee. That's an interesting one for Jersey.
Yeah, this is Jonathan Bernier. These are all the under 1% guys. Jonathan Bernier, Eddie Lack, Jan Denis, Capo Kakinen, which I'm surprised considering how fast of a season that he was with New Jersey, like just recently. Frazee, Eric Comrie, Bill Olachuk, and Appleby. And I'm not bothering with the rest of them, guys. We're just moving on. All right. And by the way, Jaromir Jagr, the most popular answer for both the Panthers and Rangers and the Devils and Rangers. So let's go to the pyramid, Filk. We'll go right now. Name anyone that ever played for the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, jeez. Roman Aksuida.
You know, you didn't have to go completely like that. How do I spell it? Ox.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right. Now we have to have a Duck that played 1,000 career games.
Steve Ruchin doesn't fit that. I know that. He missed
That's
that.
correct. Steve Ruchin does not fit that.
Did Keith Carney play 1,000 games? Yes.
I was going to say,
Carney.
I think Keith Carney easily played 1,000 games.
Yeah, Keith Carney.
All right. Now they just have to play for the Ducks at some point. So like
Yeah.
Adam Oates would be in there. We're going to save him for, I guess, 20
20
assists.
playoff games, 1,000. Keith Carney would have fit that too. Fuck. 1,000 games, 20 playoff games. The Duck. all right. Yari Curry could fit the next two.
Yes. However, like I said, so could Adam Oates.
Yeah. Steve Thomas could fit that.
Yes, I like the idea of using Steve Thomas, but where do you want to use? You want to use him as the 20 assists in any season? I have an idea of who I want to use as the defenseman. And we'll see.
Defenseman, Anaheim, 20 assists. Wait, does Eric Brewer fit that?
No, Matthew Schneider.
Eric Brewer fits that.
But also Matthew Schneider does.
I would go Eric Brewer. I think a lot of people are going to be. Oh, no. Keep Eric Brewer. Use Eric Brewer at the top.
Okay. So
did Oleg Tverdovsky play 1,000 games? I think he did. No, 730. What? The dude played well over 10 years. What did he? Oh, he missed 03, 04, and 04, 05.
all right. So by the way, Phil, again, sometimes the placement of this really helps. Could we use Adam Oates right here? Because everybody would think
20. I think that's going to be fairly obvious.
right, but they might save him for the assist guy. See what I'm saying?
No, let me hold on. Let me think of other players that have played. I mean, Pronger and Niedermeyer are too obvious here.
Mm-hmm.
This could fit Chris Pronger or Eric Brewer. Like there's multiple people that could be at the top.
But I think Eric Brewer now takes.
I think Eric Brewer. Yeah, I think Eric Brewer. Definitely, we got to keep it for that top one.
Yes, definitely Eric Brewer.
Because for Chris Pronger is going to be way too popular of an answer. Ladislav Smid obviously did not play enough games. I believe he had a 20 assist season.
Ruslan Saleh just didn't check in.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think he made 1,000 games. I don't think
he made 1,000 games, and he's got enough playoff games, but he misses 1,000 games by 83.
He misses 1,000 games
by 83.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought you were just saying he did, and now you're saying he didn't.
No, he missed it. He just missed it. Yeah.
20 playoff games. I mean, it's like Yari.
I mean, we could use Peter Sikora right there, but again, you're going with a duck. I think that's why this is where you get a.
I think Brian's onto something here. I think Scott Young played for Anaheim. I think in like '98, if I remember correctly.
Scott Young definitely played for Anaheim.
No, yeah, I know Scott Young played for them. It was either '98 or '99 he played for before he went to St. Louis.
Hey, Killjoy, how you doing?
It was 98. And Scott Young definitely fits the game requirements. He fits the playoff requirements. He fits 20 assist season. Wow. Good call, Brian.
All right. So now which one do you want to use him on?
Do you want to use so we could use either Scott Young or Steve Thomas here because they're going to be a lot less conspicuous than Adam Oates or Yari Curry.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll do Steve Thomas here. Because I think Steve Thomas, they might think of him as a goal scorer. So still at 0. Scott Young. Right there. This is where I think Matthew Schneider comes in.
Hold on. Before we go to Matthew Schneider.
I am holding. I have him ready.
All right. I wanted a Scott Young Blues jersey so bad back then because I love that jersey. And I loved Scott Young back then. I don't know why. I had a weird obsession with Scott Young, and I hate to say it because he was a flyer, but John LeClaire. I loved American-born guys that could friggin' score goals. Like Amonte, Young, and LeClaire were like 3 of my favorites at that time.
He was a speedy guy off the wing.
Great penalty killer.
I mean, he played with Colorado and St. Louis at the time. So basically, if you saw him, he was a good player. The thing
I
that
wanted the Rangers to get him so badly, and they just never did, and that pissed me off because I thought he would have been such a fit for what the Rangers wanted.
Well, here's my question: the 2002 Olympic team was he on the line with Mike York and Chris Drury?
I think that was their line.
Yeah, that was the fourth line.
Ooh, Hawk might have a great one there, actually. Hold on a second. Because I know he fits the playoff requirements because he had a Stanley Cup run, and then he was a part of Florida's 96 team, and he was on Anaheim's 2003 team. But
Well, we already used the forwards. Oh wait, you mean we already used the forwards. Rob Niedermeyer is the center.
Oh, it's a defenseman. Yeah, that's right. We're on defenseman. Shit.
Yeah.
Defenseman. Oh, man. Damn it.
Because Matthew Schneider's got it, and we know he does.
Matthew Schneider is keep that there. Don't yet. Trying to think of somebody else who fits this.
I know.
11 games, Duck, 20 playoff games, 20 assist season, and he's a defenseman. We're not going to use Eric Brewer. We're going to save that. Jason York, I don't think hit 1,000 games. He played a long time, but I don't think 757 games.
Yeah.
And he would have fit everything else. He had the multiple 20 assist seasons, including a 31.
One of the guys that I was thinking about when you said Jason York, I had Sean Hill in mind. 876 games played.
Sean Hill didn't crack 1,000 games?
Sean Hill did not crack 1,000 games.
That's nuts, man. He played from 93 to 08.
And another guy that didn't crack 1,000 games, former Duck, Bill Holder. Because a lot of these guys, they got their chance with the Ducks when expansion came around, and then their games played went up. Like, take for instance, Bill Holder. The Ducks
drafted him in the expansion draft. All of the 96-97 season. He only played 31 games in 92-93 for Montreal.
Yep.
Yeah, he won the cup with them, I believe. Yeah. And
why Ruslan Saleh was kind of number one.
Ruslan Saleh would have been perfect.
All right.
Oh my God. Who else has been?
Okay, good to hear that, Huck. I was hoping it was not us.
Bobby Dolas didn't play enough games, I don't think.
I don't think so either. I'll double check that.
No, he didn't.
Wait, Bobby Dolas, he was playing for Anaheim, and he had a shot hit the center crossbar and come out. And then they went about 10 minutes worth of game time, and then they had to stop play, review, and actually find out that it did go in. A year later, when he was moved to St. Louis, I think it was to the day, he did it again.
I thought Dave Karpa actually would have. No, Darren Van Im definitely not enough.
Well, it wasn't St. Louis. I remember him.
Tom Kerr didn't have enough.
Might have been against St. Louis. I think that was the reason why.
Damn.
This is where I pest you going, phony kidnapping.
Shit. I could think of forwards that would fit this requirement, but not.
That's why you need defensemen.
Hold on. Damn it, JJ Daniel didn't play enough games. That was another one that was like crap. Oh, he definitely had a 20 assist season too. I think he had multiple ones. And he would have been, he had multiple 20 assist seasons. And, oh man, for a guy that played with so many different teams, I thought he would have hit 1,000 games for sure. And he just didn't hit it. Damn it, man. That sucks.
All right. So in the interest of moving on with our lives, so we're going to go Matthew Schneider.
Dmitry Mironov didn't play enough games. Trying to think of all like the good defensemen that they've had in like previous years that would have been Fowler, has Fowler played enough games?
If
1042, yeah, Cam Fowler fits that,
but Cam Fowler would be an obvious answer.
I feel like, yeah, that'd be an obvious answer too.
That would be the number one answer.
Wait, hold on. Tony Ludman? Nope, not enough. Shit.
Yep.
Paul Mara, definitely not enough.
Are we even getting the guys that played for Anaheim? Paul Mara played for Anaheim?
Yeah. Lucas Spiza, not enough.
No,
Definitely
not enough. Lucas Spiza, everybody thought. I mean,
Francois Beauchemin, I don't think had enough.
Beauchemin might.
903 games.
Jeez, how did Beauchemin not get there? Well, Soleil didn't get there. Never mind.
Beauchemin been around for a while. I
know that. But just Soleil was.
Visnovsky didn't play. Hold on. Visnovsky, I think, might have fell short because he got injured a lot. I know that shoulder was. Yeah, 883. Shit.
Mm-hmm. Phony kidnapping.
What are you saying? Phony kidnapping?
Phony kidnapping. It's when Homer is trying to convince Burns' son. Phony kidnapping. That'll prove he loves you.
Selden Shore didn't play enough games. I'm not even going to go to Sammy Vatanen because he did just. No, Shore played only 758. Shit. I feel like Schneider's going to take the uniqueness level up. That's why I'm trying to hold off for somebody that's like.
I've been wanting to press this for the last 5 minutes, Phil.
I know, but it's.
This is why I insist on time limits, especially since our faces aren't on camera.
Oh man. Josh Manson wouldn't have met the games requirement yet, I don't think.
I don't think he played. Yeah, no.
James Wisniewski definitely didn't play enough. He had a point where he was a well sought after puck mover, but he just wait. Hold on. I think I might have one.
Okay.
Shit. BXF was too short. He didn't make the games requirement. He only 808 games. Damn it. Fuck. Shea Theodore is too short. It's only 564 games. I knew
you
that.
said BXA, right? So it can't be BXA. Who's another guy? Sean O'Donnell never played for the Ducks, right?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
That's actually, hold on. He might have it. Yes, Sean O'Donnell. Go Sean O'Donnell. Go Sean O'Donnell.
Okay. We'll see whether or not all this was for naught in a minute, boys.
Yeah. Sean O'Donnell.
Does he have 20 assists in any season? I believe he does.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure hold on. I will check.
He's in there. Still 0.
Yeah. 2002 Bruins, he had 22 assists.
And we go Eric Brewer for
Eric
number
Brewer.
1.
Go Eric Brewer.
Our unique score is 1.
Who got the 1? Okay, that's actually really good. So
Eric Brewer came in at 1. He was the only choice. Brett Hedican actually came in.
All right, so we technically got a 0 then.
Yeah.
We technically got a 0 because there's just no answer that's
now, okay. Now our zeros would have been, and you're right, we would have been at 1.8 with Schneider.
Told you. I knew he was going to take it up over. That's why you listen to me.
Well, it took long enough. So
all right, we got a Brian assist. We got 2 Brian assists there.
Yeah, Keith Carney would have been a better choice, or just as good of a choice on that. And then you got Kulikov right there. And then lastly, this one. By the way, if anybody hasn't taken a look at it, I'll download it on YouTube right now. The Teemu Selanne through the years. You guys can check that out. It's a nice little video. It's a short, obviously. But Selanne, Corey Perry. Let's go with just the under 1%ers. Peter Sikora, Matt Cullen, Steve Thomas, Brian Bellows, Doug Waite, Todd Bertuzzi, Todd Marchand.
I forgot Doug Waite played for them, but that was at the very, very end of his career.
Yeah. Brad May. I can't believe Brad May played for the Ducks. Radek Dvorak.
Mike Sillinger. I thought
Mike Sillinger, of course.
Luke
Mike Sillinger.
Jason
if there was a team that had a vowel in it, Mike Sillinger played for them.
Yeah, so. Probably.
Yeah.
Like Sillinger's played for everybody. But yeah, we technically all right. So we really got a 0 there because you can't. That there is no one that was under 1%. So
Yeah.
we got the best answer for that one, and that was as soon as I thought of Brewer, I was like, you know what, save him for the end because I knew that was probably the most obscure answer you could think of.
All right. So we got like we'll go 10 more minutes, guys. We had a bit of a long show today. Once again, actually, I put this on, but I'll recommend it right now and just mention it. We were recognized a couple months ago. We were recognized as one of the top 100 podcasts in New York, not just even sports. So, I mean, even though, we're not a big ratings juggernaut, and it's just a little thing for I'm just typing this in right now, guys. I'm sorry.
Next topic of discussion. Did Billy Corgan invent hockey?
What's up with that? That Billy Corgan invented anything? What is up with that? I've been hearing shit like that.
Billy Corgan, as much as I love the Smashing Pumpkins and their older stuff, Billy Corgan's ego is just like, I wonder how his head fits through like most average doorways.
Apparently it's because he looks like Bill Burr.
Yeah, there was some thing that was going around a while ago that him and Bill Burr were like somehow like brothers. And like they made like they ran with it and had like a little joke in like an interview where they're like, I think it was maybe Bill Burr or something like that was like supposedly adopted or some shit like that.
Yeah, supposedly or something like that.
Yeah, it was. I remember seeing a video on it and I thought it was funny, but yeah, Billy Corgan is. It's sad because I love the music. Like it's just I've heard of Zwan, his band Zwan. I don't know about Djali Zwan. I know one song from Zwan, and it's that song Lyric, and I actually like it, but it's such a it's far removed from anything Pumpkins did. So it's different. I don't know. It's not like Maynard, how he went from Tool to Perfect Circle, and like there was.
Didn't he go from Tool to Perfect Circle, back to Tool, back to Perfect Circle? Like he
well, yeah, it's kind of just that's his thing. Like it's like Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor for a while was going back and forth between Slipknot and Stone Sour, and then he started doing CMFT. So like there are guys that do side projects like Dream Theater is another one that's had side projects and stuff, and Liquid Tension Experiment, John Petrucci and Mike Portnoy did that for a bit. If you'd like Dream Theater and you've never heard Liquid Tension Experiment, absolutely give it a look up. I could hook you up with a couple of songs.
Mm-hmm.
They're phenomenal. It's just John and Mike just going absolutely berserk on their own, and it's really, really good.
By the way, I do have to love the way that the NHL has kind of ruined our picks this week. That's why I had to get them up as fast as possible. Where it was the day that I'm editing out our season preview pick'ems, which included our Stanley Cup picks, and as I'm editing it, Alexander Barkov goes down with an injury. You're going, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I think he'll be back for the playoffs.
I think he's definitely back.
ACLs are usually like 6 months. So like he's out for all of October, November, December, January, February, and he comes back sometime maybe in March, maybe in April. Like It depends. What is he going to be at full strength? And I mean, you're having him and Kachuk out for. I mean, Kachuk's probably going to be out till like December-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be without your two top players for the first 4 months of the season, 3 months of the season. I think they can. I still think that they have a great system. They play a great brand of hockey. I think this is Mackie Samaskevich's time to shine. I've been saying
this is where I was going to lead in to ask you, by the way.
Yeah, it's three to four. Like I've been saying this for like the last 3 to 4 weeks. I just think that he's going to have an incredible season. I think we're looking at like 25 to 30 goals, and I think 50 plus points from him. And I think that's where they step up. And it's really going to be time for Sam Bennett. Like Sam Bennett's going to have to step up and have his best offensive season. Like you just paid this guy $8 million off of a playoff run. Now you're going to have to see playoff Sam Bennett during the regular season. And I think he can give you 60 plus points. And I think if he can give you that with solid defense, with getting under everybody's skin every night and doing Sam Bennett things like accidentally elbowing people on purpose, I think you can make the playoffs. Their defense is still good. Bobrovsky, that's really going to be the thing. Can Bobrovsky really get back to like being that like big time regular season guy? Because in these last few years, he's been able to kind of like coast into the playoffs and not have to be like the guy on a nightly basis. Like I know that he was a Vezina finalist. I think it was 2 seasons ago. Yeah, 2 seasons ago he was the second runner-up.
Yeah.
But like for most of his Florida tenure, he has not been that great regular season guy. That's really the issue. Can he be a great regular season guy? Because if he's great in the regular season, then I think they're going to be okay. But if he's not, and it's like they want to try to do the 2000 Yankees and get in by the skin of their teeth and then just turn it on, that's where things could get a little hairy.
They can do that. So just like the 2000 Yankees. Now the 2000 Yankees were able to do that also because like it depends on the division you're playing with. The AL East was definitely not at its best that year.
No, Boston wasn't a contender yet. Baltimore, even still with Mussina, was still kind of trending downward. And then Tampa Bay was a joke at that time. And then what else? Toronto. Toronto was they didn't have Holiday yet, or Holiday wasn't really at his like very best yet. So
actually, you know what? We talked about New York fans. Let me throw up another discussion topic in this before we think about leaving. Because I know we had a similar situation that we put on there. Let's get this discussion in because it does relate to what happened this week. Oh my goodness, what happened this week in New York? Okay. So your biggest heartbreak as a New York fan during the regular season. I'm not looking for postseason. Obviously, we could talk about that in spades. New York has got a long lineage of that. But Phil, looking at just ways that your New York team really kind of gutted you. Like what comes to mind? Like for instance, could it be Brett Favre throwing 2 interceptions?
Are we talking moment or are we talking season?
You know what? You could talk about season too. Like last year, I mean, I think last year is the worst regular season I've endured as a Ranger fan.
You could either say that or 92, 93.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of comparisons and parallels there. That was bad. if we're specifically regular season,
Yeah, because obviously when you think about those moments, you could think about Zach Parise scoring in overtime. That one still hurts. Obviously,
Zach Parise scoring. What year were you?
sorry, I said Zach Parise. I meant to say Henrique. Adam Henrique.
Oh, you're talking about the playoffs in 2012.
Yeah, 2012.
Oh, okay.
Might as well have been Zach Parise. He did everything in that series.
Well, yeah, him and Kovalchuk.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, Beltran striking out, but again, I want to know what regular season moment is coming to your mind.
I mean, I feel like the heartbreak is more in the playoffs than it is the regular season.
Yeah, but I mean, think about this for the regular season. We, me and you, with Ranger fans, we know about that because we had the shootout the final day of the year.
Yeah, that would probably be right there. That sucked. I mean, I look back on that team though, and they were not a good team. They were not. We were depending on Mark Stahl and Michael Roosevelt to be their two best defensemen. Dan Girardi as well. Like that was your top three on defense. You were being carried by really Marian Gaborik and Henrik Lundqvist. Like it was like a Walmart version of the 06 Rangers.
I love this one, by the way. McDonough and Tampa. Okay, there you go.
I don't. That wasn't heartbreak for me though, because we knew that was coming. We knew that was coming, and I mean, it's like, I mean, even Leach. Like when Leach was dealt, like they needed to deal Leach, and they needed to deal Leach at the 0-1 deadline, and they would have gotten more for him. Once Mike Richter went down, going post to post against Chicago in February of 0-1.
Yeah.
And then Theo Fleury
checking in for rehab,
with going into the rehab. Like that's when they should have sold Leach off. And they would have gotten an insane return for him because Rob Blake got Steven Reinprecht and it was Steven Reinprecht and Aaron Miller. And Blake was, I mean, yeah, he was a Norris winner in 08, but Leach was leading the league in points by a defenseman at that point. And who wouldn't have wanted a 34-point Conn Smythe winning defenseman who was still like in his prime years still? Like that was his last 70-point year, his last great year in 01. He led the Rangers in scoring. So
like I think the next one after that, and depends on your point of view as far as the New York side of this goes. You could say for Ranger fans,
we're ever going to trade Richter for Turek. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I don't remember that take, and I remember a lot of takes.
Things I do remember in 01. They were this close to pulling off a deal for, I believe, it was Keith Tkachuk and Nikolai Hobby-Bulin, and I think Richter was going to go the other way in that deal. That I think could have been something. But I know that they should have just gotten rid of Leach in 01.
Yeah, but I think Brian Leach was one of those guys that deserved lifelong Ranger treatment.
Sure, but if you were going to deal him 3 years later, then should have dealt him then.
Yeah,
that's the point.
That's also where I agree with you on that. I also just like I'm thinking about some other moments that were in there. I guess one thing you could say for Ranger fans, it was heartbreak. For Islander fans, it was triumph. The Pierre Turgeon OT winner in '93 that basically sealed the fate for the Rangers. They were done.
You know what? I didn't hear. I mean, maybe that was the case. I didn't hear anything about Blues back then, and I mean, I was all over the internet and ESPN and whatever sources you could get back then at the time. I mean, I heard the Rangers and Coyotes were talking at the 0-1 deadline. That's what I heard. I mean, again, this is 24 years ago now. So, things could have been different, but I do know that there was some sort of talk that they were trying to get Tkachuk and Hobby-Bulin. I know that.
I do know that there were other deals, speaking about other Rangers that were in place, like Brett Hull for Alexei Kovalev. I know that was, or Brendan Shanahan, that was also turned down.
Wait, hold on. All right. So I know the Rangers were one of the teams that were finalists for Brett Hull to sign him in the summer of 2001.
Yeah, but there were also rumors
in the deal done. They pivoted to Hull.
Yeah, the rumors were in the 90s that they were all these offers always for Alexei Kovalev, and the Rangers balked at him, and eventually they ended up trading him for Peter Nedved. So
if they, I know. All right, so I was watching. All right, so there's this channel on YouTube that has classic Ranger games, random. Well, not just classic, but random Ranger games from like any season you could think of.
Mhm.
I'll tag it in the chat, or actually, Rangers Fan 819, I think is the name of the channel, and you could just watch random games on there, and you can go in there. And I was watching one of the games. I think it was during the 95-96 or the 96-97 season, but they were talking about Brendan Shanahan being traded, and the Rangers were one of the teams that were in on him. So I wonder, because John Davidson specifically said it. It was something I remember.
what was Gretzky playing in the game?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back.
Because if Gretzky was playing, then it was the trade for Shanahan to go from Hartford to Detroit.
Right,
If it was the other way around, if Gretzky was not playing, then it would have been when Shanahan got traded to Hartford for Pronger.
I think it was the 95-96 season, and I think because he was in it might have you know what? I think it might have been 96-97 because he was still in Hartford. There was stuff up in the air, and I believe Coffey was still in. Was he still there? No, Coffey was.
If that's the case, Coffey would still be in Detroit.
Yeah, because I think hold on, because they mentioned so. I think I remember them mentioning something about Coffey too. Yeah, no, it was 96-97 because Coffey was there at Hartford.
Okay, then it was when Prima was there, and that might have been. Was that the game? Wow, was that the game that Burke broke out the pads with the nets on the padding?
I don't know.
That was a game. I believe it was the Rangers lost 4-0. It was on a Freeview channel.
I don't think it was a I don't think they were playing Hartford though. It was just a game that they were talking about. JD brought it up because the Shanahan news was like a big thing. He basically said like he didn't want to be in Hartford, and they had the captaincy on him, which was crazy. So I do remember that the Rangers were one of the teams. I don't remember if it was Kovalov that was being dangled, but I tell you right now, they would have gotten Brendan Shanahan for Alexei Kovalov. Man, that changes a lot of things. I don't think Detroit wins the cup.
No, they don't. No, they don't get past. They don't get past.
They don't get past Colorado.
Colorado, no.
No, they don't. I don't think they get past
Shanahan
Colorado.
completely changed that around, and again, that was the ballsy move that they made. Because don't forget, Paul Coffey, I believe, was a year removed from a Norris Trophy, and I mean,
he won the Norris Trophy in 94-95.
The shortened season,
third and final one.
Yeah, in the next season, 95-96. Coffey was an immensely productive defenseman for Detroit.
Yes.
The sad part of the playoffs is he had that bad game one where, I mean, it's funny to say the guy had a bad game one when he scored 3 goals in that game. The problem was one of them was on his own open net, and he buried a shorthanded chance. It was, I think it was by Stefan Yell that he wanted to go throw it back in front, and Coffey I think Coffey went to sweep it away, but he just put it right dead middle of the net. Then obviously Coffey had 2 goals in that game. So it's I don't think you get by. And that's why I talk about when you have to make the Brendan Shanahan trade, that is such an immense trade that you have to say, we're not good enough to win. Again, I credit the Florida Panthers about this. I've been saying it like a broken record, guys, but that's what it takes to win. You eventually have to ask, what are we not doing to go win? And like, hell, the Boston Red Sox fired Grady Little. He got him with almost, what was it, 4 outs from a World Series?
Yep. The debate with him is, kept Pedro Martinez in for too long.
The answer was no. You go to your bullpen. Right.
Well,
there.
that's the thing. Like and that's why Yankee fans are pissed about last night, because Max Fried was cruising and he wasn't in a jam, and he was at 103 pitches, I think it was. And they remove him to bring in Luke Weaver, who the next 2 guys up were a guy he should have gotten through, and then Ceddanne Rafaela, who is 2 for 6, 333 off of him with like 2 home runs. Like, how do you bring in a guy when he might have to face a guy that absolutely owns him when your ace is cruising? Harvey is a different story because Harvey was way, way above in the pitches.
Yeah, and well, no, I don't think he was way above, but also here's the thing in that mindset.
He was well over 100 before they took
here's also the thing in that mindset of that. If you're gonna do that, you should have done it earlier in the series. But on the other hand, there wasn't that opportunity. That was Matt Harvey's moment to go, I'm going back out there. Now, I don't give him that's where you have to take the choice out of the player. You want that argument, you want that fire, but I also don't kill him for letting Harvey out there, because Jerry's Familia had 3 blown saves. Well, 2 at the time in the series. One of them was not his fault, Daniel Murphy. But the other one, I mean, LaTroy Hawkins and that quick pitch that he taught the Met pitchers. Oh, my opinions on that. Hey, it's nice once in a while. Don't use it as a crutch, because all it takes is guys to go, all right, we'll just sit on the quick pitch. And then that's what Alex Gordon did in game 1, and that ball hasn't landed yet.
Yeah, well, the thing with Nomar is that, it was just the injuries with Nomar when they traded him. He was never the same player after that trade.
No, he wasn't. But by the way, that's a huge thing. You sit back and your loyalty is usually to your star players. And I think because you have to be loyal to them. They're your stars. Sort of like in your fantasy team. You got your guys that are going to be there. You run them out there. And then for the ability for you to sit Lamar Jackson last weekend, if you had him in fantasy. And but it was it's sometimes it's just not the matchup. Maybe it's the time to pull a guy. It's one of those things. It's not everybody gets to play every game. And when you do that with Nomar, and it does take the stones to do that. This is a guy that built this team up all the way to right here. And then, by the way, Phil, the other part of that is I believe he only played a handful of games with the Cubs because then he tore his groin running the first, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he played I think 40 games with them or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was 43 games. So, and then he played 62 in 2005. And then he ended up going to LA where he had that resurgence that first year there. He hit 303 with 20 home runs and 93 RBIs. And some people thought he was kind of back, but he just, after that, it started going downhill again.
Yeah, then the injuries really took their toll.
Yeah.
It's just, and again, you hate to see it happen to all accounts. Nomar Garciaparra was a good guy. But
he was just a guy, he was class and he was unbelievable as a player. I think he was on roids, honestly, but he was just an incredible player regardless.
My answer to that is everybody was on roids in that era.
Yeah.
So show me a negative test.
Yeah.
We got positive tests now. Show me the negative test on every player. You want to be a union, this is what you get.
Yeah, my views are that if you all right, I know Manny Ramirez did it. I know David Ortiz did it, and David Ortiz got into the Hall of Fame, but they're playing favorites as to who gets in the Hall of Fame.
Well,
You put
also, by the
Ortiz
way,
in-
Ortiz kept on playing. Ramirez stopped.
Yeah, and Ramirez failed multiple tests. Ortiz failed one.
And it was a survey testing, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Manny got busted 3 different times, and he got busted trying to mask it. I mean, all right, I don't know. I mean, you can surmise.
I can make that argument with Marino and Montana.
Yeah, I think you can make that with anybody. I mean, if I put Henrik Lundqvist in Pittsburgh, he probably has 3-4 Stanley Cups.
If we put Sidney Crosby as a New York Ranger.
How many cups do the Rangers have?
It's almost like if somebody did a video about what ifs in the New York Rangers.
I wonder who could have done that.
But by the way, unions partners in crime. So
but the issue is that you have a player like that. I mean, phenomenal player, but honestly, if you're gonna put David Ortiz in the Hall of Fame, which fine, okay. Like take A-Rod, put A-Rod in, put Barry Bonds in right fucking now. I don't want to hear any word about Barry Bonds because that guy. If you take a look at his numbers before the steroids, before 2000, they are still unbelievable. Unbelievable numbers.
Do we also have to have a discussion about when the mound was lowered and stuff like that? My thing now is I've loosened up on the steroids thing. I don't want to hear it with Pete Rose. I still don't want to hear it with Pete Rose. I'd put him in now because now he's eligible. But on the other hand, because I'm right now, but that has more to do with Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred should have either done this, make him available while he was still alive, or not at all.
Unbelievable. All right, Barry Bonds from 86 to 99. 2010 hits. So he's 2,000 hits before he even injects a steroid. 445 home runs, 1,299 RBIs, 460 stolen bases, 1,430 walks, only 1,112 strikeouts in 2,000 games. Unbelievable. 288 average, 409 on base, 559 slugging, a 968 OPS, a 163 OPS plus. And then here's the accolades. Because we haven't gotten even to the trophy case yet. 3 MVPs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Gold Gloves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Silver Sluggers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 All-Star selections. So usually they say for like the Hall of Fame in baseball, you have to have at least like 8 to 9 like Hall of Fame caliber years. Barry Bonds exceeds that by like far. By far.
Yeah.
And won 3 MVPs plus the Gold Gloves and the Silver Sluggers and all the cumulative numbers. Or if Tim Raines is in, Barry Bonds pre-steroids could get in without question.
Yeah, no question. Barry Bonds is one of the best players ever played the game before he even injected a steroid. And by the way, Gary Cohen did bring this up while Bonds was still playing. It's more of an American tragedy what happened with Bonds, that he felt like he needed to do steroids instead of just keep on working. Now, granted, he couldn't stay healthy. That's the reason why he couldn't be in games. Hence why when people want to say that there's that third one. No, I didn't do steroids. Yes, I did do steroids. Nobody ever says the second.
All right. So
yes, I did steroids, but I couldn't. But I needed to come back. Hold on. Before actually we get too far on that, one reason why I have this one highlighted is I wanted to tell this story about Derek Jeter at the 99 All-Star game in Fenway. Not a lot of people remember this, but Jeter was the guy that came in for Garciaparra. And when he came in, he was doing the Garciaparra foot shuffle to pay tribute to Garciaparra. Another good story just to credit Derek Jeter on.
Yeah, those guys were, I believe, they were friendly off the field. I know that.
Yeah.
And those two, I've heard them talk about the mutual respect and admiration they've had for each other. Same way that Jeter would say that about A-Rod before A-Rod came to the Yankees, because they were actually close friends, Jeter and A-Rod.
By the way, Phil, you got this one on there just to mention that you commented. Jose Bautista is adamant that he would pass every single test and that he just they adjusted his swing early.
Bullshit. That's a guy who clearly started doing something. You don't tell me that you go from hitting 14 home runs and you couldn't even be a starter on the Pirates back in the late 2000s and then go from hitting 13 home runs in 2009 to 54 home runs in 2010 without doing steroids. I'm sorry.
I get it.
The biggest home run increase from one year to another in Major League history.
Even more than Anderson?
Brady Anderson. No, hold on. Let's. All right,
Anderson, we know was on the juice.
Anderson was definitely on the juice. Like we know that for sure. I mean, he hit 50 in 1996, but he hit 16 the year before. That's 34. Bautista went 41.
Oh, by the way, everybody is suspected. I should say we shouldn't say we know everything 100% for sure.
Yeah, I mean this is suspect. I don't buy Jose Bautista at all. Saying he would have passed any drug test. I don't. Yeah. I don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't. There's nothing. There is absolutely. So you're telling me that you just went from being a nobody that couldn't crack a starting lineup to one of the best hitters of a generation overnight without any such sort of help. It's not like he was like some highly regarded player or prospect he was a journeyman before that.
Mm-hmm.
He'd been around since 2004 and had played how many games? Let's see. From 04 to 09, he played a total of 575 games. Not buying it.
All right. I mean, I'm just saying he was adamant about it for the longest time. And I do have one of his hitting videos where he started his hands really early. And I want to say it was an adjustment I made, even though I'm more of a contact hitter. I believe if your hands are ready, you're going to be able to hit.
All right. The one guy that I know people question, and they question more than Jose Bautista for some odd reason, even though he was a 30 home run hitter in Atlanta, is Andrew Jones. Like they showed you the difference in his stance.
Yeah,
like his stance went from a very wide open to more of a compact stance.
Yeah,
and that's why he started hitting all those home runs. But that was a guy that could hit 25 to 35 a year in Atlanta for years.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys. He always had the talent. He didn't exactly put it all together that he did. I think he almost won the MVP that year. I'm trying to remember who did.
In 05, I think, was that Ryan Howard?
06 was Ryan Howard.
06 was Ryan. So 05, because he finished. He was the runner-up. 05 MVP. He led the majors with 51 home runs that year and then 128 RBIs. But there's, again, all right.
I think 05 was Adrian Beltre, but I think I'm wrong.
No, it was Albert Pujols.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Duh. How did we forget about that? That was just prime Pujols. If he was on steroids, that would really upset me.
Well, I say it all the time. The most damaging guys, if they're on steroids, would have been Jeter would be in there, Rivera would be in there, Griffey would be in there,
Ariano,
Gwynn. Yeah, if you found out they were on steroids.
But
Gwynn and Ripken would have been the two big ones. You're talking about the guys that were the two class acts of the league. Obviously, I don't think they did. That's why I'm saying it like that. And I don't think Griffey was either. But there was so much stuff going around. Just whatever. So this week was absolute heartache. Oh, it's not absolute heartache, but I do think it's worse than 2007. 2007 was a gut punch. 2008 was heartache because they were right there until the very end. But anybody that wants to say that they still predicted, my brother Rob, for instance, still predicted the Mets were going to make the playoffs this week. Oh, they're fine. He even said they're fine. They got time. I'm like, as soon as they tied the Cubs, And my problem wasn't that the Mets couldn't back up into the playoffs or backdoor their way in. I couldn't imagine them winning another game. That's how bad the Mets were. They were able to win one. They were able to win one of them. They won 1-2 against the Marlins. They got slapped around by the Nationals. I mean, how Mendoza wasn't fired in August? Why? Because he hired him last year because they had a good run? Yeah, that team was falling apart. And every time I looked, they were 3 steps forward, 2 steps. They were 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. They were well below 500 since mid-June. This was not a good team. This was not a good team. Maybe treat your starters like starting pitchers and not guys that pitch 4, maybe 5 innings. Like, that's one of those. This is why I hate sabermetricians, because they would have a goaltender play 40 minutes of a game and then say, well, you're really better off with 6 attackers the rest of the way. Oh, really? Idiots.
Yeah, I'm with Gabriel on that. Like, I think Rob Manfred has screwed up the game so much. Like, the way he handled the whole Astros cheating scandal and Alex Cora and his cheating scandal with the 18 Red Sox as well. Like, I think you.
Yeah, Carlos Beltran's basically banned for life.
What's that?
But Carlos Beltran's like banned for life.
Yeah, I don't get why Carlos Beltran is banned, but Alex Cora isn't. Like, the way that Rob Manfred has handled everything, he's damaged the game beyond belief. Like, if we're gonna, I mean, we can't let Pete Rose in, but we can let David Ortiz in. We can. Alex Cora can still manage. I don't even understand that one.
Phil, we know my stance on this. Gambling and steroids are not even in the same ballpark.
No, they're not.
And I also want to be clear about this too. If you're caught gambling on your sport, you're done. There isn't a second chance. So, I mean, while that would go with guys that are, for instance, have been getting caught, like I think there were a couple of relievers got caught this year. And I mean, God help us if we found out. That
was who was it? Was it Emmanuel Clase that was a part of it?
I think so. Yeah, I think they were Indians relievers.
Like,
and it was the first pitch strike. It was the first pitch ball. It was a first pitch ball, and he would just throw ball every time he got out there. It's just that simple. You bet on your own sport, you're done.
Yeah,
you can't compromise.
I don't like it, but I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna let all these guys do it, like especially if you're gonna let somebody that technically cheated, if you're gonna let him in, then you gotta let Rose in. I'm sorry, but you gotta let Rose in.
Well, then you should have done it when he was alive. Then
I agree.
It made him the poster child of don't do this. But on the other hand, Shitless Joe Jackson was playing on dirt fields at the end of his career. We see the movie 8 Men Out, which was amazing. But the other part of it is, look, and I'm okay with gambling being part of sports betting, being part of pro sports now because that's more revenue. But the thing is, players, you can't be part of this. And I can't believe I'm forgetting the guy's name, Ottawa Senators, Long Island kid. Shane Pinto. Like, just stay away from it. You don't have to do it. You can do any other sport. Pete Rose, it literally is the poster child for this. Because once you compromise the game, it's over. It's bad enough with the NFL. Everybody thinks the league is rigged for Taylor Swift.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's. I think sports betting has ruined sports. I honestly think that there's such wacky officiating that it seems like who's got what on what.
Well, I could answer that. The thing is, officiating was ruined because of HDTV. As soon as that happened, now that every fan gets to see what we see and replay, now you get to look at it and go, wait a minute, maybe that puck did cross the line, and Calgary won the 2004 Stanley Cup. Like, we're a long ways away from that. Now it's very simple. It should be what the NFL originally intended. 90 seconds. If you can't figure it out by then, play stands. But now it's gotten to the point in the NFL of we're just going to review everything. Okay. So now you're going to let these fumbles go through. And then, but you had to do it after what happened with Jay Cutler. I think it was Jay Cutler and Ed Hockley's call that he went to go throw the pass. It was a backwards lateral, but because he thought it was a forward pass, it landed. And then he throws the game-winning touchdown like 2 plays later. That's one reason why the wacky officiating has started. And that's why it's good that baseball is going to get rid of balls and strikes next year. Like, no, computers. Thank you very much.
I want the one about it, and I wanted it for a while. I think the problem is with baseball and the balls and strikes is that every umpire has their own zone. And like some are hitter friendly, some are pitcher friendly, and there needs to be some level of consistency, and there just isn't. And that needs to change.
There were 3 different pitches I watched in Sunday's game and on the weekend that the ball was 1.5 feet outside, and he called it a strike. Like we're talking that it was almost 90s Braves territory. And you're like, all right. But Dave, the tuck rule, here's the reason why the tuck rule was in place. It was because of all the pump fakes that were going on in the league. And then it was, all right, so the ball would slip out of the guy's hands. The real question on the tuck rule is, does Brady's hand come back up? Because if that's the case, and that's where I thought they were going to call it that, but Tim Peel from the Hot Mic.
Yeah, Tim Peel, Hot Mic. And then you have the Tim Donaghy scandal in the NBA. Like, I mean, it gets to a point where like our sport's rigged, and and then now you have all this sports betting, and it's not helping any matters in any such sort of way possible.
But I mean, sports betting's been around for
yes,
since
but not to the
started.
extent that it is now.
Right.
It's like there used to just be spread lines and everything like that. Yes, like I understand that, but now there's prop bets. Like there's gambling being legalized in states that it wasn't legal in before. Like New York has gotten in on it, and now it's more profitable than it's ever been. Like it's a multi-billion-dollar business now.
But Filk, it's another revenue that the leagues are now engaged in. They like it. Here's the deal. It's very simple. If you don a jersey, you do not bet on one thing.
You cannot bet on your own sport.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. You
don a jersey, you can't bet on your own sport. It's that simple. And if we find you, it's not a 3 strike, it's 1. You're done. Done. Don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, I think that they should let Rose in, but that should be the last bit, and that's it. I just don't think what he. To me, I think what he, and I don't think he bet against his own team. I don't think he was fixing games.
And by the way, I'm not trying to sound hypocritical as I'm trying to get gambling websites to be a sponsor for us. So that way we can get back on and earn other revenue. But the other thing is, it's stuff that this all needs to go, but it needs to be handled just right. And the only way to do that is you can't put on a jersey and bet in the sport that you're in, because then you have inside information.
Yeah.
You want to do it when you retire? By all means, go ahead.
Yeah.
But also, by the way, you better not be a club attendant.
I'm not against sports betting. I definitely think that I just think there's a coincidence between what's going on with it and then all the officiating. Like fans doing it, no problem. I don't like the players being involved in it if it's within their sport. Like I think that's where things can get kind of sketchy, and that's why I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's just, and all you got to say is don't. But again, that's where I go back to Pete Rose. All you had to do and be a Hall of Famer was not bet on baseball. Not only you found out he was betting as a manager, he was betting as a manager in games he played in, and as a player. There's that rumor that's out there. that supposedly they found a book. I remembered it's been 15 years, guys. So my memory's a little bit sketchy on it. On Outside the Lines, they covered that. Again, all you had to do was not bet on baseball. You could bet on anything else. But if you're that compulsive, which he was, and again, it's just
And to answer this question, I do think part of it. I mean, it's a great source of revenue for the leagues. It's definitely something that's welcomed in that regard. So it has part to do with it. I mean, anything that can be attributed to hockey-related revenue is going to fall under that umbrella. So yes, to a point, yes, it did go up partially due to sports betting revenue.
And also keep this in mind too. Over the last 5 years, especially that we've been doing this show, and we've been getting inside information, all of us, all three of us. I can't tell you how many times we said the line to each other, we can't publish this. And we don't. So first off, we're showing journalism, proper journalism ethics, and we're showing that we can actually not engage in this stuff. So when people want to say, oh, the temptation's out there, player X is doing this, why not player Y? No, it's why. You bet on your sport, you're done. Throw a first throw a first pitch as a ball. Oh, okay. He bet on it. He won. Nope. That's out of there. First off, by the way, why are you making that as a prop bet? First pitch in the 9th inning is a ball? Are you kidding? That's like people that bet on preseason games.
I mean, listen, prop bets can be fun, and that's why people do it. But I just think that, like players, like I feel bad for Shane Pinto, like, and I understand compromising the integrity of the game and like the effects that it could have if you are betting on your own sport. But I mean, I think maybe they just shouldn't be doing this. Like if you're like you said, if you put that jersey on, then you shouldn't be betting on your sport. It's just, I think that even if you're not like I actually believe that Pete Rose never bet on his team.
Never bet on his team.
What?
Never bet on his team, you're saying?
Yeah. I don't think he ever like placed any types of bets on his team to throw games, anything like that. I don't.
Oh, so you're saying that he bet against his team?
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is I don't think he actually like ever put money like into any of his team's games in any such sort of way.
Okay, he admitted that, by the way.
What?
When he said, "I only bet on the Reds," and as a manager, that's what he's admitted.
So he bet on them to win.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I don't like that he did that, but
he bet on him every game of the year, Filk.
He never fixed it.
As soon as you don't bet on your team, you're basically saying maybe tonight's not the night. All that money slides to the other guys, and they see that afterwards. And all the bookies see that. This is why you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. That's the fuck around and find out method. So it's where it's plain and simple. Don't bet on it. Don't do it. Now, would I still put Pete Rose in right now? Yeah, because now we've evolved, and now he's a cautionary tale.
Yeah,
and now that he's there.
That's really what it comes down to for me. Is I just feel like we've gotten to such a point where things are drastically different. And now it's a different world.
Yeah, because and Phil, I'll go back to this one now, because we should have seen Pete Rose at 1990 Hall of Fame election in Cooperstown, but again, he decided to kind of screw around with this, and it's one of those things. Just all you had to do was not do it, but he felt like he had to do it. So, but this is what happens. Look, if, and that's why one of the big things a lot of people were scared about was the whole Operation Slapshot back in the day. That was out there. Now, I still say if you're betting on hockey games, you're an idiot. But that's a different story. Although it says the guy that he'll put a wager on hockey games every now and again.
Oh God, Mark, just stop.
Yeah. No. Well,
I don't know what you're getting at there, buddy.
no. I'm trying to still play both sides. I'm just stupid on that. Anyway.
Yeah, this is for me. Like, you could put him into the Hall of Fame and still not have him eligible for baseball shots.
But the thing is, it's still in 1989. It was still the stain that's on there, and it lasted for a while. And Bart Giamatti did say check back in with him, but then Giamatti died. So then it was on Seelig, then it was on Manford, and here's the other thing. I don't think Pete Rose ever told the full story. His story still changed as he got older. So
Yeah.
all right. Guys, everybody, thank you very much for watching us again this week. It's always a thrill whenever we get to do this. And of course, me and Phil we could sit here and talk for the next couple hours. So thanks for having us in for your work day. And David, I have some other thoughts on that. I would have got in there. It's also a simple rule. It's not even about whether or not there's addiction or anything. You can't do that. So, all right, everybody, join us next week where we're going to be talking about games. As the New York Rangers will open on Tuesday night. And Phil, last word over for you.
Well, we're less than a week away.
All right. Well, I guess I'll throw a "Can I Play with Madness" in there. Take it easy, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Reference, yeah. So.
See you next week, everybody.